are being made. Now, let me just say one other thing about this.
Sure.
Sometimes bad news like this is good news, and sometimes bad news like this is just bad news. It could be good news because of rate reductions, and that may all end up in people's pockets with reduced interest rates. It could be bad news because the Treasury yields are going to be cut, and that could hurt investors and the rate of return on their government bonds. So bad news can be good news, or it can be bad news depending upon how you look at it.
Dr. Jim Mose is the guest from the University of New Haven. Now, Jim, you mentioned something I wanted to get in here, the rates. Now, it's no secret here that the president has very angrily said that, he wants interest rates cut by the Fed. The Fed doesn't want to do it yet. They're being very cautious. They say no because that could overheat the economy and make money too cheap here. So this is a real point of contention with the White House here, right? The lending rates.
Absolutely, because that's a cost to the consumer. Okay? It's contentious. To me, it looks like it's just political. Both parties are digging their heels in the sand. But Jerome Powell has softened a little bit on his tones. I mean, we're all looking at this, and the market is kind of has baked in a couple of rate cuts for the remainder of the year. What we don't know is how much they're going to be. I did a piece for a competition a while ago, and when I looked at the analysis, I'm saying, okay, we could be anywhere from two 25 basis point cuts. That's 1/4% per.
1/4%,
to 50 basis point cuts, which is 0.5%.
Wow.
I mean, we don't know. You know why we don't know? Because everybody's still trying to digest the data. The markets, right? It's changing constantly. I mean, the tariff thing is up in the air as well. That's changing constantly.
Yeah.
The lawfare that's going on is just muddying up the waters.
Jim,
I
was just going to say, Dr. Jim Mose, the guest from the University of New Haven. Jim, I saw somebody, I forgot who it was something I read or saw on TV maybe about a week ago. And they wondered, and kind of what you had said a few seconds ago about bad data could make bad policy. There was a contention by somebody that said, it's almost like the baseball purists, Jim, argue, it's too many numbers now. There's nothing done with a gut feeling. There's on-base percentage, there's OPS, there's batting average, there's batting average on balls in play. Is that happening too much with the economy, Jim? With all the data we have and all these websites, is there too much info out there or not?
In my opinion, yeah, because we're saturated with data. We're saturated with data that keeps changing. Hard to make any decisions on that. So you're absolutely correct. I agree with you 100%.
So now what happens, Jim? We're heading into another week here, and we have this huge, as you say, could be up to a 900,000 revision of the job numbers. There are some people saying, hey, we shouldn't do the job numbers. Whoever gets a job, and whoever doesn't. What's the path forward here, you think? Especially especially heading into the midterms.
Yeah. Keep in mind that the jobs numbers also feeds into a very important metric that's on everybody's mind, and that's the unemployment rate. Okay, the jobs available versus the unemployed, that comes up with your unemployment percentage, which is very concerning to a lot of people, which is an indication of purchasing power and a lot of other things. So everything spins off of everything, but there's too many data points. I'm telling you, saturation is just out of control. When we look at the markets, and that drives a lot of it too. I mean, the markets are going up. We had a triple peak today.
Wow.
Which is the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ all hit all-time highs. So what's happening? Well, the market doesn't like inconsistency. It doesn't like confusion. It doesn't like volatility. So what's happening? People are moving their investments. You also notice that gold and silver are pretty much at all-time highs too. That's a stable fallback, right? The hedge. That's going up. People are they're going out of the bonds into that, out of the bonds into the stocks.
Wow.
Out of the bonds because they're anticipating rate cuts, which is going to reduce their income off of those bonds. And since the market is going great gangbusters, they're making either appreciation or dividends higher than they would have on the fixed income from the bonds. So the money's going into two different places. Gold and silver and commodities, much more conservative than the market.
And all that data out there, too, to look at and to get our eyes to glaze over. Thanks to Dr. Jim Mose, University of New Haven, Associate Professor of Accounting, Finance, Taxation, and all the other data points out there. Jim, once again, good to have you on, and we'll keep in touch. Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Paul. You take care.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye. So there you go.
WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut. Weather update.
Cloudy and cool this afternoon. There will be a few widely scattered showers with a high in the mid-60s. Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Sunny tomorrow and warmer with a high near 80. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Now, let's take a look back with Norman. Let's hear what happened today in WICC history.
It's September 10th. Elias Howe got his patent for the modern-day sewing machine and built them in Bridgeport. On this day in 1990, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was the #1 TV show.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel-Air.
Happy birthday to Westport's Jose Feliciano.
Yeah, come on, baby, light my fire. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Things will be better. Oh, yes, they will. For Chico and the man.
September 10th.
That was today in WICC history. Every day just before 2 on the voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. Live and local news all day. WICC 695.9. The voice of Connecticut. WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven. Locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
Is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. NATO scrambled fighter jets today to shoot down Russian drones over Poland. The first time NATO fighters have engaged enemy targets in that way. Secretary General Mark Rutte is sending a message to Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Stop violating Allied airspace and know that we stand ready, that we are vigilant, and that we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
The White House has been monitoring the developments. CBS's Charlie D'Agata reports.
There's something like 10,000 troops there. And the reason I mention that is because they're going to have next level surveillance and security anywhere where there's going to be U.S. troops in any kind of harm's way. So they will rely on imagery, satellite imagery if they get it. They're going to look at launches where they came from, because there are some reports that these drones originated from Belarus, which would also be a first. And of course, they're going to be able to track them. You know, you've had F-35s from the Netherlands who are tracking these drones.
Russia has denied responsibility. Israel struck targets in Yemen today, a day after launching strikes against Hamas targets in Qatar. Edward Jajarian is a former U.S. ambassador to Israel.
You have Netanyahu acting unilaterally. He has weaponized Israeli diplomacy on all fronts. He isn't opting for diplomacy. He's opting for military actions to, as much as possible, decapitate the so-called axis of resistance.
Canada says it's evaluating its relationship with Israel after those strikes. The European Commission president plans to seek sanctions against Israel. Federal investigators say flaws in a pool deck were the likely cause of the collapse of a condo tower in Florida 4 years ago. The report says the pool deck began falling down at least 7 minutes before the tower, suggesting the pool dragged the building down with it. Reporter Peter Dench.
The latest findings come from the National Construction Safety Team at NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It follows an exhaustive study of the partial collapse of the 12-story Champlain Tower South building in Surfside just before 1:30 in the morning on June 24th of 2021. 98 people died.
ATM fees have reached a record high. Reporter Jason Brooks has a look at the numbers.
Grabbing some cash from an ATM continues to cost more, with Bankrate reporting that the average ATM surcharge has increased for the fourth consecutive year, averaging $3.22, up 3 cents from a year ago. And there's an even bigger increase for using an out-of-network ATM, with that fee averaging $4.86, up from $4.77 last year.
On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are mixed. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
WICC 695.9. Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The unofficial results are in for some key primary races in Connecticut. Controversial Bridgeport City Councilor Maria Pereira has survived a primary challenge. Pereira and Kayla Medina collected the most votes in the four-way 138th district contest, which was the only primary for a council seat this year in Bridgeport. The top 2 candidates advance to the November election. Pereira was arrested earlier this year and accused of absentee ballot-related crimes during the 2023 election cycle. She's due in court September 16th on charges that include eligibility requirements, forgery, and disorderly conduct. In Norwalk, Barbara Smith wins the Democratic mayoral primary over Darlene Young. David Chess defeated Linda Manos to be the Stratford Democratic candidate for mayor. In Oxford, First Selectman George Temple won the Republican primary over RTC-endorsed challenger Jeffrey Luff. A Yale University undergraduate has won the Democratic primary election for the Ward 1 seat on the New Haven Board of Alders. Elias Theodore defeated fellow Yale student Nora Laughter to essentially win the seat, as there is no Republican in the general election race. There were 2 other Board of Alders Democratic primaries held yesterday. Incumbent Angel Hubbard was the winner in the Ward 3 primary in the Hill, and Leland Moore has won the Ward 18 primary in Morris Cove. It is official, there will be a special election in Fairfield. Yesterday was the deadline to collect signatures in town that would support a special election for First Selectman. Fairfield Republican State Senator Tony Wong initiated the effort and says more than 3,000 signatures were collected beyond the 5% needed to approve an election.
We knocked it out of the ballpark. I'm so thrilled. The petition period cutoff was yesterday at 4 p.m., and I'm so very impressed in the voters of Fairfield and Southport for their overwhelming support, in demanding that democracy be in exercise and that a special election will be held.
First Selectwoman Christine Vitale was unanimously appointed to the job last month following the passing of Bill Gerber. It's not clear when the special election will happen. And Herring's in Noank is the only Connecticut restaurant on the New York Times list of 50 best restaurants in America 2025. The review said it's the, quote, New England seafood shack you've always wanted. Many of the other places on the list are in big cities like Boston, Chicago, and Miami. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound roadwork, exits 18 and 17 stay left to get through. 95 also southbound in Milford, roadwork going into exit 33, stay to the left to get around them. Parkway, northbound Stamford construction between exit 10 and 14. Right lane is out. On the southbound side of the Wilbur Cross, you have road work as well between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and that is in the left lane. Route 825 connector northbound road work between exits 1 and 2. Left lane is out. Traffic report is powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Elliotson and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give, peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
So for the vast majority of us, our homes where we live, if we are a homeowner, now some of us rent, some of us live with relatives, especially as we get older. But if you're like me and like thousands of people around this state and around the country, around the U.S., our home is our greatest investment. Now, there are some of us who are business owners. I am not. So for a lot of people, their home is not their biggest investment. Actually, from a dollar and cents and liability point of view, it's actually their business. But for the sake of what I want to start off with today, let's say that for thousands of us in the great state of Connecticut, the People's Republic of Connecticut, our home is where we have a lot of our equity. For some of us, our home is going to be how we build our retirement. Kids are out, and as we get, later in life, we don't need all that space. We'll probably downsize to maybe a small apartment or something. You sell the house, you get whatever cash out of it, whatever. So you see where I'm going at here to start. Our homes, for a lot of us, except if we're business owners, that's kind of a lot that we have, along with cash and our cars and whatever. Okay. Now, if somebody came up to you and said, hey, I hope you vote for me, or I hope you vote for this, that, and the other, there's a policy here I think you should vote for, and you're a homeowner, and you say, well, yeah, well, what are you pushing on me here, pal or ma'am? Well, we want to do something that's going to effectively, whether you like it or not, by the laws of the economy, the laws of real estate, it may do something to lower the value of your home. And you're going to say, well, the hell, get out of here with that. I'm not going to do that. What am I driving at here? Well, I'm driving at this push. Now, it may not happen. Who knows? Maybe till the new year. Maybe it gets in the throes of the gubernatorial campaign. But this housing bill, we talk, of course, of the governor's affordable house, whatever that means, affordable housing bill, HB 5002, which started as a work group and now was this monstrosity that thankfully the governor vetoed the first time around, that would have let majority Democrats in Hartford bigfoot a lot of zoning regulations, particularly in Fairfield County, because that's where all the rich white people live. They can say it's for the state. Don't let them fool you. This has crosshairs right on Fairfield County. And what am I driving at here? So I'm flipping around, finding a whole stack of stuff for the show today, and I see a really interesting story from Hearst. Good story here. Connecticut home values gain, and they surge to the top in the U.S. Yes. Some Connecticut home values, metro regions in the state, are tops in the U.S. In other words, the cash value of thousands of homes in Connecticut is as high, or if not higher, than anywhere in the U.S. Now, follow along here. Part of that reason, not all of it, part of it has to do with schools, part of it has to do with where people work, part of it has to do with accessibility to other things a city or town may offer, but part of it has to do with what? The housing stock. If there's a really desirable place to live in Connecticut and there's only X amount of housing units there, and you have high demand and low supply. Let's go, class. Economics 101, elasticity. It works in housing too. High demand, low supply, high prices. Whatever and wherever you habitate or cohabitate or trihabitate or whatever, it's going to be worth more. That's more money in your pocket, particularly equity-wise if your unit isn't paid off. However, if a state, a government, whatever, comes in and says, well, yeah, God bless you, you have a nice place to live, we're going to force that city and town to add to the housing stock there because the simple laws of supply and demand don't let everybody buy a home there. What are your feelings going to be on that? And obviously, we've kind of touched on this before, but I wonder, and that's our question of the day to start off today at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Simple question. Do some state residents oppose, or do you oppose, affordable housing mandates because of a worry it's going to affect your home's value? If you have a home in a city or town that's a very exclusive city or town, that there's only so many homes there, why would you be okay with the state mandating that a housing stock increase in your city or town that would essentially lower the value of your home? I know what you're going to say. Well, Paul, if there's not enough houses there, then, other people can't move into town. Well, too bad. Life is hard. As the great philosopher Jagger says about every 2 or 3 years when he gets up out of his easy chair, you can't always get what you want. Now, we'll get into some of these numbers momentarily, and I read these numbers and a tiny little light bulb went off in my head because there's not much up there. So you don't need a huge floodlight to go off in my head here to make me realize something. But I said, hey, wait a minute. Why should the state come in Bigfoot and tell your city or town, hey, you have to build this many more housing units when it's going to affect you in the pocketbook?
You listen to WICC for your favorite talk, but you also want to know what's happening around your neighborhood. We've heard you, and now you're getting more news on the Voice of Connecticut. Live and local news updates at the top and bottom of every hour. If it's happening in and around Fairfield County, we'll let you know about it first. All day, every day, even weekends too. The Voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
Don't miss a moment when the Mets host the Texas Rangers Friday, September 12th through Sunday, the 14th. Prior to Saturday's game, former Mets managers and players will face off in the Alumni Classic game. The first 15,000 fans through the gates on Saturday will receive a Mrs. Met bobblehead from Cadillac, and on Sunday, the first 5,000 kids under 14 will get a lunchbox from Stop and Shop. The homestand continues with series against the San Diego Padres and Washington Nationals. Get your tickets now at Mets.com/tickets.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in a parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hey, it's Melissa Shekachov, host of Melissa in the Morning here on the Voice of Connecticut. I want to tell you about MADE, a leadership series of events I've been hosting with the Department of Economic and Community Development and the Connecticut Business and Industry Association. MADE is designed to equip Connecticut's industry professionals with the connections, resources, and insights necessary to create opportunity in today's business landscape. Topics included so far: how to attract and keep top talent, and innovation, and the advancements right here in Connecticut. Don't worry, though, if you've missed it, check out what we've learned on the podcast at voiceofct.com. The next MADE series will focus on reputation and how your business can stand out. If you want to stay ahead of the curve in business and build game-changing connections, you need to listen to the podcast. It's on voiceofct.com, and join me at the next MADE event. Details coming soon at connecticutmade.com.
Discover the finest flooring in Southern Connecticut at Courtesy Carpet. With over 50 years experience, from intricate area rugs and durable vinyl to elegant stair runners, they have it all. Shop anywhere, but see them before you buy. Visit L&J and their team on Route 111 in Monroe or at courtesycarpet.com. Financing is available, so you can get the floors you love today. Trust the experts in quality flooring, because at Courtesy Carpet, your satisfaction is their courtesy.
Recently, 1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they might not have saved enough to retire. Pretty much adds up because the number one fear of planning for retirement is running out of money. So if you're ready to get serious about planning for your future, you can start by listening to Mastering Your Wealth with host David Gagnon of First Financial Planners. Tune in Saturday mornings at 8 right here on WICC 600. Also get more details online at masteringyourwealthradio.com.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from Cadillac of Greenwich Studios, CadillacofGreenwich.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 southbound roadwork, exits 18 and 17 stay left to get through. 95 also southbound in Milford, roadwork going into exit 33, stay to the left to get around them. Parkway, northbound Stamford, construction between exit 10 and 14, right lane is out. On the southbound side of the Wilbur Cross, you have roadwork as well between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and that is in the left lane. Route 8 and 25 connector northbound roadwork between exits 1 and 2, left lane is out. Traffic report is powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Elifson and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give, peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Live and local talk for the end of the workday. You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli, live on the voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
So these are startling numbers. Listen to this from the Connecticut Post today, Hearst. They took a look at home values in Connecticut. Connecticut home value gains surge to the top in the U.S. Now, number one is Greater New York City with a cumulative home value of $4.624 trillion. That's up $260 billion. You know what's number 6 in the nation? Bridgeport. $305 billion, up $22.3 billion. Hartford, number 11, $185 billion. New Haven is number 18 at $134 billion. So I wonder why. Is this why people are pushing back against these affordable housing mandates? It may be part of the reason, maybe not. What do you think, though? And are you upset here with the state government saying, well, you know, hey, you should be okay. We just want more housing units in your more affordable units, whatever that means, which is a scam in and of itself. But having said that, are you okay with a state policy or 2 or 3 that may actually take money out of your pocket? Because, again, supply and demand, supply and demand, supply and demand. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Talk or text, by the way. If you don't want to talk, but you want to text me something, maybe you don't want people to hear your voice on the radio. I understand. Been there, done that. Talk or text, same number, 333-9422. But think about it. If your area of town or your town's housing stock is forced by the state to go up, the value of your property is going to go down. Right? What am I missing here? Start off today's extravaganza with Steve in Bethany. Steve, you're on WICC. How are you?
How are you doing, Paul? Long time no talk.
What's going on? What's going on, my friend?
You just happened to hit the right subject for me today. Because,
all right. You tell me.
You know, I listen to you every afternoon, and I've been killing myself all week, taking everything out of my house because I'm going to sell it.
All right.
I started 3 weeks ago.
All right.
I'm going to sell it.
Yep.
And the market in Bethany is very there's very few houses that are for sale in Bethany.
I know that. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Bethany is a really interesting town because it doesn't have a police force.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a paid volunteer fire department.
Yeah.
So the taxes for my house are half of what they would be if it was a mile down the road in Woodbridge.
In Woodbridge, yeah.
And so, you know, I've been thinking about this issue you've been talking about for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The people, the question that you asked was what is your opinion on either side of the coin on this?
And are you worried that forcing an issue like this on people is going to hurt your home's value, right?
Yeah, and I think it's even deeper than that. It goes back to that lawsuit with what's Constant Royster and the Affordable Housing Coalition. They're being backed up by Yale and the liberal professors at Yale.
Yep.
And they're using Woodbridge as a test case.
Yeah.
They're suing Woodbridge.
Racism.
Saying, no, you shouldn't be able to build. You shouldn't be able to build just a regular family home on a 1.5 acre or larger lot.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be able to put a quadruplexed housing on a 1 acre lot. So a building with 4 dwellings in it, and they want to bust open the communities. They're not talking about the flats of Woodbridge. The flats already has some things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about the whole town, and they're using it as a test case for the whole country.
And that's been going on for a few years now. Isn't it like 3 or 4 years? I remember talking about this years ago.
That's the same issue that you're talking about. And, you know, I'm glad I decided to cash my chips in at the last second.
Good for you.
because thank God I have a good real estate agent that's coming in, and she's redoing the whole inside and the whole outside.
Nice.
And I can pay her at the closing.
Nice.
So, and I think my house is going to go for probably upwards of $500,000.
Good for you. So hopefully you got a nice profit there. Now, are you staying in state? Or are you getting the hell out of the People's Republic of Connecticut?
Corrupticate? Well, my kids are still here.
Oh, okay.
And
all right. Okay.
Here's the thing. I'm going to go back to the shoreline.
Nice. Okay.
Where I was living in Brantford, East Haven.
Nice town.
And,
Yep. Uh-huh.
You know, I love it up in the woods. See deer every day. Got attacked by a bear. No, I didn't get attacked by a bear, but there's literally a bear that just sits in the middle of the street.
Okay.
You know, and then there's turkeys that if you piss them off, they're going to chase you.
Oh yeah, no, they'll charge you. They will charge you. All right, Steve.
Yeah, that's right.
Steve, thank you.
Right.
I do have to run, my friend. Good luck. Keep in touch, Steve. Thank you. So there's a guy packing up his house, ready to move. Stay in state. I guess he has family obligations here. But yeah, I mean, I started thinking about this a little differently here because I saw this story in the Connecticut Post. Check it out, Alexander Soul's story. Connecticut home value gains surge to the top in the U.S. The greater Bridgeport area is now number 6 in the country with an aggregate home value of $305 billion between 2024 and 2025. How about that? And is this affordable housing thing going to take money out of your pocket? Roger in Fairfield's with us. Roger, how are you?
Hey, Paul, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that, Roger. What's on your mind?
Well, you said something in your intro that struck me enough to pull over and call when you said affordable housing, whatever that means.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page with you.
Yeah.
It seems that all of these affordable housing things that I read about going up around me, I live in Fairfield, they're all rentals. So the whole part of the home building thing, which is home ownership and being able to build generational wealth, has all gone out the window with this need for quote unquote affordable housing. And it's also a part 2 to that is what is affordable?
Well, thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
There are people who can afford maybe $1,000, but a month for a rental with no hope of building any type of generational wealth through ownership.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I think that the tags on these affordable things are $2,500 and up. So I just think we've really lost the plot about making homes that people can afford, that they can start building some wealth in, as I've been very, very fortunate in this town to be able to do.
Roger, thank you so much, Roger. Appreciate it, and thank you so much for hopping on board. Good to have you here. We always love first-time callers. All right, folks. I mean, here's the question I have today. Look, are you against affordable housing mandates? Because, in a sense, it's going to cost you. Are you worried about a potential effect on your home's market value? Because, again, understand something. Yeah, the tax base, the taxes have an effect on what people will pay, the school system. But, you know, when you come right down to it, it's availability, supply, and demand.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound roadwork, exits 18 and 17 stay left to get through. 95 also southbound in Milford, roadwork going into exit 33, stay to the left to get around them. Parkway, northbound Stamford, construction between exit 10 and 14. Right lane is out. On the southbound side of the Wilbur Cross, you have roadwork as well between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and that is in the left lane. Route 8 and 25 connect our northbound roadwork between exits 1 and 2. Left lane is out. Traffic report is powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Elifson and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give, peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor, is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Columbia Dental in Norwalk is part of a trusted integrated network, offering comprehensive dental services from A to Z, all in one convenient location. From routine cleanings to advanced procedures, their expert team is ready to care for your smile. Call Columbia Dental in Norwalk today at 203-299-0111 or visit columbiadental.com. Complete dental care all under one roof.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. NATO aircraft intercepted drones in Polish airspace overnight.
Whether it was intentionally or not, it is absolutely reckless.
The drones, believed to be from Russia, represent the most serious spillover of the war in Ukraine to date. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
Allies are resolved to defend every inch of Allied territory.
President Trump was to speak to Poland's president today. There are thousands of U.S. troops in that country. The latest economic report shows slowing inflation at the wholesale level. Here's CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
When I look at this,
And if I'm the Federal Reserve, I'm looking at this and saying, hey, we've got a problem in the jobs market. It's weakening. We got some good inflation data. More motivation for a rate cut on Wednesday.
That is the next Fed meeting on Wall Street at this hour. The S&P 500 jumped to a new record. The Dow Jones Industrials lower by 254. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9. Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The unofficial results are in for some key primary races in Connecticut. In Norwalk, Barbara Smith wins the Democratic mayoral primary over Darlene Young. David Chess defeated Linda Manos to be Stratford Democratic candidate for mayor. In Oxford, First Selectman George Temple won the Republican primary over RTC-endorsed challenger Jeffrey Luff. Maria Pereira also prevailed in Bridgeport Democrats' council primary against endorsed candidates, despite her arrest earlier this year and accusations of absentee ballot-related crimes during the 2023 election cycle. She's due in court September 16th on charges that include misrepresenting eligibility requirements, forgery, and disorderly conduct. State health officials have released new interim COVID-19 vaccine guidelines that differ from those released by the CDC. Dr. Joanne Pasalacqua from Hartford Healthcare says there is a disconnect between specialists and current CDC regulations.
Our CDC is no longer recommending vaccine for healthy children and pregnant women. But I think in the infectious disease community, that thought process remains a little bit controversial.
According to the CDC, the vaccine is not recommended for pregnant women or children under 2, while Connecticut is still recommending vaccinations for those groups.
Newborns born to vaccinated women are better protected, and it's important to understand that vaccine still works best to protect because natural infection only provides a short period of protection.
Several other states under Democratic leadership have made similar recommendations. Tomorrow in Bridgeport, the 9/11 Day Foundation will be at Total Mortgage Arena making food packages for those facing food insecurity statewide. This event is one of many that the foundation will be holding nationwide in honor of the attacks on September 11th, 2001. 9/11 Day co-founder Jay Winnick says that events like these are about giving back and celebrating the sense of nationwide community that was felt following the attacks.
The point is to kind of come together, put aside any differences we have, and just be Americans and realize that everybody needs a helping hand once in a while. And these meal packs that we stage around the country, it's certainly not the only thing that 9/11 Day our organization does, but it's one way that people can give back. But I'll tell you, I have a front row seat to the most amazing outpouring of goodwill every 9/11.
The event will take place tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Tomorrow is the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. U.S. and state flags will be at half-staff from sunrise to sunset at all state buildings, grounds, and facilities in Connecticut. Governor Ned Lamont said the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge in New Haven will be illuminated in red, white, and blue lights at dusk tonight and tomorrow night. 161 people with ties to Connecticut were among the nearly 3,000 killed on September 11th, 2001. People across the country are being asked to mark the day in a special way tomorrow. Here is Sarah Lee Kessler.
Take a picture of the sky that day and post it to #RememberTheSky.
Beth Hillman, the president of the 9/11 Museum and Memorial, noting that many people remember the beauty of the sky on 9/11 before terrorists who'd commandeered airline jets slammed into the World Trade Center and Pentagon and crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. An art installation at the memorial commemorates the sky
with a different color of blue for every person who was killed by terrorists that day.
Nearly 3,000 tiles for each victim who died on September 11th.
Senator Richard Blumenthal is accusing the WNBA of interfering in negotiations surrounding the sale of the Connecticut Sun.
It is potentially breaking the rules, not necessarily the rules of the basketball court, but the legal court.
The state has been attempting to keep the team in state despite the Mohegan tribe's move to try to sell the team. In a post on his social media page, Senator Blumenthal threatened federal legal action if the interference continues.
Obstructing and potentially blocking negotiations are a possible violation of federal law. In fact, the antitrust laws specifically prevent misuse of your governance and market power in the way you may be doing. And I'm going to demand an investigation and action by appropriate federal authorities.
And 5 Target stores in Connecticut are going to open at midnight on Friday, October 3rd, when Taylor Swift's new album goes on sale. There will be a limit of 4 albums per customer. Target is opening select stores nationwide for the special midnight release of The Life of a Showgirl. The Targets in Enfield, Newington, South Windsor, Southington, and Waterford will take part. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 southbound roadwork, exits 18 and 17 stay left to get through. 95 also southbound in Milford, roadwork going into exit 33, stay to the left to get around them. Parkway, northbound Stamford, construction between exit 10 and 14. Right lane is out. On the southbound side of the Wilbur Cross, you have roadwork as well between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and that is in the left lane. Route 8 and 25 connector northbound roadwork between exits 1 and 2. Left lane is out. I'm Edge Krause with WICC traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow is sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
If Stratford is talking about it, so is Paul. Connecticut Today with Paul Pizzelli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Stunning story today in Hearst. Good that they got this together because it gives people, I think, a little bit of, a perspective as to what's going on here. Home value gains in Connecticut surged to near the top of the U.S. Now, of course, New York City, the greater New York area, is number one. The aggregate, that's a big word, means altogether. The total value of homes in the New York City area, however they define that, a little over $4.6 trillion, up $260 billion in 1 year between 2024 and 2025. Bridgeport is number 6, up $22 billion. Greater Hartford, number 11, up $11.7 billion. My cute little hometown, New Haven, up $7.4 billion to $134 billion over year. They're in 18th place. Somebody's making money. So is this fair then that I guess the Democratic majority in Hartford is still hell-bent on doing this? They want to take money out of your pocket, don't they? I mean, what am I missing here? And some of you real estate professionals, I know you listen, trust me. But isn't part of this supply and demand? I mean, look, even a dummy like me can understand that. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Do you oppose affordable housing mandates because in part you're worried about a potential effect on your home's market value? Where do lawmakers in Hartford get off, which is essentially what they're telling you? We want to put more housing units. We are going to force your city and your town to build more housing units. Does that not take money out of your pocket? Yes or no? I've seen in my town, my condo over the past couple of years is up about $30,000. Why? Because housing is tough to get in my town. Well, that's not fair, Paul, for people who want to live in your town. Well, guess what? Life isn't fair. It's what the Catholic nuns taught me at St. Anthony's in New Haven and St. Aidan's in New Haven years ago. One of our Catholic nuns with her thick Boston accent used to say, well, dear, life isn't fair now, is it? All right. That's not fair, sister. Well, guess what? So, and again, we were supposed to have the special session this month. Now they're saying it's the end of the month. Now they're saying it's going to go into October, and again, what is, I mean, I know there's a textbook, definition of it, but come on. What's going to be affordable in Greenwich? Stop. What's going to be affordable in Weston or Wilton or New Canaan? Stop. Look, could I ever afford to live in those places? No, I can't. It's just the way it is. Life happens. Bob and Weston Hangout will be to you when we come back, but do you folks oppose affordable housing mandates simply because it's going to lower the value of your home? Isn't that what's going to happen? What am I missing here? 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Was I taught something wrong, improperly, back at BU when I was stumbling up and down Com Ave in the late 70s and early 80s? Or did I get this right? If it's a desirable area to live and there's not that many places to live, the value of people who already live there, the value of their home goes up.
Experience the future of luxury with the all-new electric Escalade IQ, now available at Cadillac of Greenwich. Standard with hands-free driver assistance technology, the Escalade IQ offers undeniable style and uncompromising comfort with the longest range of any EV SUV. Arrive in style with this pinnacle of modern automotive excellence. Visit CadillacofGreenwich.com today and elevate your driving experience with the iconic Cadillac Electric Escalade IQ. Iconic moments drive superior hospitality at Cadillac of Greenwich. Let's take the Cadillac.
The Connecticut Lottery reminds you that gambling can be a fun form of entertainment, but it's not risk-free, so it's important to play responsibly. Make sure you understand how the games work, know the odds, set time limits, and take breaks. To find out more, visit ctlottery.org or responsibleplayct.org. Must be 18 or older to purchase lottery and 21 or older to place sports wagers. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound roadwork, exits 18 and 17 stay left to get through. 95 also southbound in Milford, roadwork going into exit 33, stay to the left to get around them. Parkway, northbound Stamford, construction between exit 10 and 14, right lane is out. On the southbound side of the Wilbur Cross, you have roadwork as well between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and that is in the left lane. Route 8 and 25 connect our northbound roadwork between exits 1 and 2. Left lane is out. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Keeping you up to date on everything that matters. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, great to have you with us. Love having you with us Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 right here, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Do you oppose? Are you against the so-called affordable housing push in the state because you're worried about a potential effect on your home's market value, your own wallet? What's wrong with that? Now, I know there are incentives, 830G and all that. I get that. I understand that for developers to come in and build affordable housing. But come on. Do you understand? These developers are not benevolent. Oh, I want to do such a nice job to make affordable housing a dream in Connecticut. No. They will do the minimum they can on affordable housing so they can sit there and sell their full price units. Come on. What, did we all fall off the turnip truck, as an old buddy of mine in radio used to say the other day? Stop. Bob in Weston is here. Hello, Bob. Good afternoon. How are you?
Paul, how are you?
I'm good, Bob. I'm trying to figure this all out. What do you got?
I think you just summed it up. I mean, what you just said in the last 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like that you brought up were these developers that come up. They hold a gun to the town's zoning board, and they say, hey, we're going to put in low-cost housing. If you don't let us put in more units of the affordable, and it gets to be nuts. I've been in some of these so-called affordable ones. They're not so affordable, Paul.
Yeah.
And not only that, the construction isn't really that great.
Shoddy
These
sometimes,
people don't give a rat's tushy about Westport or Weston. They don't care.
No,
they want to get in, make their money.
That's it.
And we need to make tougher zoning laws.
Bob, none of these developers are Gandhi. You know what I mean? They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. Come on. And there's nothing, Bob, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make a buck. Just be honest about it. That's all. Just be honest.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you have a great day.
Thank you, Bob. Always good to hear from you there, Bob in Weston, who gives us the view from Weston, also in Westchester County, New Rochelle. Or as I've been told by a person, no. I guess I've been told if I say New Rochelle, I'm not from there. I got to say New Rochelle. Is that it? You got to slur it. I've been told by a woman I used to work with in New York. I said, "Where do you live?" She goes, New Rochelle. Where? New Rochelle? Yeah, New Rochelle. What can I tell you? It's the same thing. Where do you live? Naugatuck. You mean Naugatuck? Yeah, that's what I said. Naugatuck. Do you oppose this affordable housing stuff, which I guess our friend, in fact, we'll have Dan Haar on coming up in the 5 o'clock hour today. He's one of our go-to guys or gals for this. When is this special session? Maybe it's all a joke. Do you oppose affordable housing mandates because you're worried about a potential effect on your home's market value? That's our call. That's our question of the day. Let us know what you think. Go to facebook.com/Voice of CT, will you? We'll love you for that. We'll give you a free helping of our love and admiration. How's that? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Tom in Norwalk. Tom, good afternoon. How be you today?
Paul, hi. I don't think it's going to affect any of the housing, the property values in Norwalk because of the reason that they just did a reval.
Yeah.
And it was so horrendous, they had to stretch it over 4 years.
Really? It was that bad?
So it's approaching my original mortgage to pay taxes on. So they said, would you like to protest your
you're damn right I want to protest.
And I said, so I was probably one of the few who said that it was worth $100,000 less.
Yeah.
Because I don't intend to move, and I want to stay here in Norwalk. I like rock hopping in the summer on my boat.
Okay.
And I don't intend to leave. So it's crazy that the taxes are just out of control every year.
And not to mention, Tom, and look, I'm not going to pry here, but I'm guessing your electricity bills may be on the high side. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But mostly the tax bill is predictable, and you can extrapolate what it's going to be.
Yeah.
In a few years, and you just look at the house you have, and it's not worth it. It's not worth the taxes. Unless I, make it a castle. But who wants to do that?
Yeah.
I'm a retired person.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get it. I understand. And Tom, you hear about, now I'm not, you said you're retired. That's good enough for me. But, you hear, especially in the Northeast, Tom, about people who have their homes paid off or who have a large amount of equity and they want to cash out, and they're trapped because of the tax bills. People take a look and they say, okay, what's the estimated tax here? And that's a non-starter for them.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom, thank you.
Do some research. Okay.
Yeah. Tom, I appreciate it. Good to hear from you, Tom, as always. Yeah, that. How bad is that? And I guess that's a real problem on Long Island. I have friends and extended family members on Long Island. Some of those tax bills in Nassau and Suffolk County. Oh my God. My late ex-mother-in-law, I saw one of her tax bills. Now she's since passed, God rest her soul. Wonderful woman. And I remember seeing I wasn't prying and I was, it was almost like, I was a little kid looking at the tax bill. It's like the first time, if you're a guy, the first time you see a Playboy, and that was the way it was with her property tax bill. She lived in Bayshore. And I said, Mom, you pay this every year? She goes, yeah. To do what? To live. I mean, it was like $15,000 in 1998 or 99. Oh my God. Ann in Newtown is here. Ann, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, good. Well, thanks. The low-income housing.
Yeah.
Newtown just thankfully blocked a development where they wanted to put 3 times as many units as we would normally allow, 2-acre zoning. And they were calling it senior housing.
Yeah.
And the price was going to be $700,000. Tell me what senior can afford that.
$700,000 senior housing.
Thank goodness they finally put their foot down. But a couple of extra thoughts.
Yeah.
Why is it that it's like, these developers are getting all clever? Oh, well, we can save more green space if we do it this way. Well, instead of, how is it that they get to put more houses on if they do high density? What if it's like, okay, well, if you have 60 acres,
yeah,
you can put 30 units in high density, and then you'll have, 40, 50 acres green. But no, they say, oh, well, we have 60 acres, we'll put in 80 units. Or we'll put, there should be limits.
Now, and thank you. You're breaking up a little bit. I do have to let you go, but I get the point, Ann. Thank you for calling in from Newtown. Listen, to Ann's point, none of these, look, I got to be careful what I say here. I have nothing against capitalism. I have nothing against property developers. It's a noble, listen, somebody's got to build the houses. Somebody's got to build the condos. Somebody's got to build the townhouses. Somebody's got to build the housing developments. I get that. But as our caller just said from Newtown, the developers want to jam it. And there's nothing, listen, they can put a proposal there, and it's up to a town's planning or zoning commission or PZC or zoning board of appeals to say yes or no. I get that. I understand that. But please, none of these developers are benevolent. They're not, because that's not what they are. They're businessmen and businesswomen, and there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. But could we please step back from this notion that, these developers, they just want to, oh, my God, yes. They're just wonderful people who want to build affordable housing. See, I think a lot of people, and one of our previous callers said that, there's a difference between low-income housing and affordable housing. And I think a lot of people here, kind of aren't really understanding what's going on. Traffic and weather together right here, right now, WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound roadwork, exits 18 and 17 stay left to get through. On 95, also southbound in Milford, roadwork going into exit 33. Stay to the left to get around them. Parkway, northbound Stamford, construction between exit 10 and 14. Right lane is out. On the southbound side of the Wilbur Cross, you have roadwork as well between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and that is in the left lane. Route 825 connector northbound roadwork between exits 1 and 2. Left lane is out. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan. Last year, more consumers switched to Chevrolet than any other automotive brand. Why? With more standard passive and active safety features than any other brand, plus easy-to-use technology like wireless Apple CarPlay, Chevy simply builds in more value. And who doesn't love getting more for their money? With fresh inventory arriving daily, see for yourself at Carl Chevrolet, 261 Elm Street in New Canaan, or online at carlchevy.com.
Hi, this is David from Standard Oil. Do you know why Standard Oil was voted best oil company in Connecticut? Great service, day or night. If you have a heating emergency at 2 a.m., Standard Oil has service technicians who work through the night to ensure fast response to heating emergencies, usually within 2 hours. Most importantly, great service means truly knowledgeable technicians who care about customers. For great service, day or night, call Standard Oil or visit us online at standardoil.com.
Back to the news and talk, thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut, WICC's 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli.
And for many of us, particularly those of us who do not own businesses, who don't have massive stockpiles of stocks and bonds or whatever, our home is the vast majority of our net worth, be it somebody who owns a small home for $150,000 or $200,000 to somebody who may have bought or got a home through the good fortune of family planning 20, 30, 40 years ago, and now that home may be worth upwards of $1 million. And now we have a scenario here in Connecticut where, again, we're supposedly going to have this special session where the Democratic majority in Hartford wants to ram through some state-level changes to housing zoning regulations here in the state that have been the purvey of local cities and towns for years, maybe an expansion or contraction on the 830G statute, which has been in there to try and spawn more affordable housing. But, I got to thinking here, as I saw the big story here, Connecticut home values surging to near number 1 in the U.S., and I was like, well, wait a minute. If the value of my home is going up, who the hell are they in Hartford to say, well, my value of my house is going to go down because they're making my city or town build more, quote-unquote, affordable housing, whatever that means.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. We have this just in. Conservative media personality Charlie Kirk has been shot. It happened at Utah Valley University, where he was taking part in an event. NATO warplanes shot down Russian drones in Poland's airspace, and European leaders are promising to do more in the biggest spillover yet of the war in Ukraine. In Washington,
at some point, I think we have to punch back, and I think that point's now.
Republican Senator Tom Tillis, as lawmakers consider further sanctions on Russia. Ukraine's president is warning Russian President Putin is testing the limits. CBS's Eleanor Watson.
The NATO Secretary General said that there will be a full accounting of Russia's intent, but already some European leaders are pointing to these violations with the fear that Russia was probing NATO air responses to test what would happen if Russia decides to put on a larger attack in the future.
President Trump's 30 30-day federalization of the Washington, D.C. police officially ends today, but the National Guard troops remain. Linda Kenyon explains why.
President Trump declared a crime emergency August 11th, deployed the National Guard, and federalized the district. While the federalization may be ending, the presence of National Guard troops in the district is not. Their deployment has been extended through November 30th, although their role is unclear.
A state court ruled today Florida cannot prohibit the open carrying of firearms. Matt Piper reports.
The Florida First District Court of Appeal has ruled that the state's open carry ban is unconstitutional, saying it conflicts with the Second Amendment's guarantee of the right to bear arms. It means those who call Florida home could soon be allowed to openly carry guns in public. Florida is one of 4 states, along with California, Connecticut, and Illinois, that ban open carry in nearly every circumstance for all kinds of firearms. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis writes on X that he supports the court's ruling.
Today marks the official peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. There were predictions of a busy and potentially destructive year. Meteorologist Rob Marciano on what's going on.
We normally have 8 storms by this time of year. We didn't hit that. 3 hurricanes. We only hit 1. We've got that warm water, but there's atmospheric things happening that are limiting these storms from developing. Very big subtropical high, larger and stronger than usual. A lot of sinking air, very stable area. That coupled with dust coming off the Sahara, and a lot of that's been going on. And we have shear as well. All of this is limiting tropical storm development.
There's a long overdue royal get-together.
Prince Harry and King Charles met in London for the first time since February 2024. Reports say they had tea during a private 55-minute meeting. The king traveled from Scotland to see his estranged son, who's been attending charity events here in the UK.
Reporter Catherine Arms. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today.
Call 1-800-602-9900.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The unofficial results are in for some key primary races in Connecticut. In Norwalk, Barbara Smith wins the Democratic mayoral primary over Darlene Young. David Chess defeated Linda Manos to be Stratford Democratic candidate for mayor. In Oxford, First Selectman George Temple won the Republican primary over RTC-endorsed challenger Jeffrey Luff. Maria Pereira also prevailed in Bridgeport Democrats' council primary against endorsed candidates, despite her arrest earlier this year and accusations of absentee ballot-related crimes during the 2023 election cycle. She's due in court September 16th on charges that include misrepresenting eligibility requirements, forgery, and disorderly conduct. State health officials have released new interim COVID-19 vaccine guidelines that differ from those released by the CDC. Dr. Joanne Pasalacqua from Hartford Healthcare says that there is a disconnect between specialists and current CDC regulations.
So our CDC is no longer recommending vaccine for healthy children and pregnant women. But I think in the infectious disease community, that thought process remains a little bit controversial.
According to the CDC, the vaccine is not recommended for pregnant women or children under 2, while Connecticut is still recommending vaccination for those groups.
Newborns born to vaccinated women are better protected. And it's important to understand that vaccine still works best to protect because natural infection only provides a short period of protection.
Several other states under Democratic leadership have made similar recommendations. A judge has ordered all weapons seized from a former Stamford police captain found to be at risk of harming himself or others. Diedrich Hahn retired from the department in 2023. He had his weapons seized on August 27th, and a Stamford Superior Court judge upheld that decision yesterday. No details have been released about what led to the order, except in court filings that refer to threats and acts of violence. Hahn is currently not facing any criminal charges related to the matter. And Avelo Airlines is ending its seasonal service between Tweed New Haven Regional Airport and Portland, Maine. The flights between the two cities began in May as a test route to see if there was demand for such a flight. However, after a summer-long trial run, Avelo has determined that they did not see enough consistent need and a return date is not set for the route. Avelo continues to serve over 30 destinations from Tweed. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The lower Merritt is your best bet right now. Wilbur Cross southbound late running roadwork between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and 84 eastbound volume delays in Danbury into the Super 7. Traffic report powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Eliason and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give: peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Andrew Krause with WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Pizzelli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, right here, right now at 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. We'll update you again, top and bottom of the hour. Some breaking news. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk, was apparently shot during an event in Utah. So our next update with that coming up bottom of the hour, top and bottom from CBS News. Right here, 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. Once again, Charlie Kirk shot during an event in Utah. Very visible guy, especially as a Trump ally. So we'll keep an update on that for you, keep you updated on that situation. Talking about, though, as we move along here, some startling numbers here. And, yeah, Connecticut for some people is a very desirable place to live. But for others, for a lot of folks, it's out of reach. Now, I've been on this earth 64 years. There's a lot of places that I can't afford to live in. Whose fault is that? Again, when it comes to real estate and it comes to location, as they say, location, 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 cities and towns, for example, a lot of them are desirable, a lot of them are some are not desirable. You know, we could do a complete show on that. But I ask a simple question today after I looked earlier today, this Connecticut Post story by Alexander Soul. Home values in Connecticut surge to the top of the U.S. And I'm wondering here now is, I guess, the Democratic majority in Hartford is determined. They seem hell-bent on passing some sort of affordable housing, but whatever that is, affordable housing, bill in maybe a special session here, to do something here that maybe, I'm sorry if you don't like to hear this, but is it going to take money out of your pocket? I mean, how many of you folks out there, and let's mention Fairfield County, because make no mistake that I know this is statewide, but let's call this for what it is, please, and not beat around the bush. This bill is squarely aimed at Fairfield County. It just is. I know it could help around Hartford, in Avon, Simsbury, West Simsbury, or could it? What's affordable in Avon? What's affordable in Simsbury, in West Simsbury, in Farmington, in Lyme, in sections of Brantford. I mean, come on. Don't confuse low-income housing with affordable housing. They're two different things. The definition of affordable housing is, what is it? It's a percentage of the average housing value or percentage of what people should have to spend on a mortgage or on a rent, depending upon U.S. and local statistics. It's kind of a convoluted thing here. But, you know, honestly, what's affordable in Greenwich? What's affordable in Old Lyme? What's affordable in Litchfield? I don't know. You tell me. So are you against these affordable housing mandates because, hey, you may be worried it's taking money out of your pocket here? Some of these figures are staggering. Today in the Post, the state of Connecticut is near the top nationally in one key element, says here, for home sellers: escalating home values. With two of the nation's biggest population centers leading the U.S. and a few not far behind. Connecticut's three largest metro areas rank among the biggest gainers nationally for aggregate home values year over year, 2024 to 2025. The total home housing value in Bridgeport, not in Bridgeport, but the Bridgeport metro area, however that's defined, rose $22.3 billion from 2024 to 2025, now at $305 billion. It's number 6 in the country. Hartford at number 11 in the country, an aggregate total value of $185 billion. And New Haven, the greater New Haven area, number 18 in the U.S., $134 billion. Aggregate value, $7.4 billion change. Now, you may be of the side of this saying, well, Paul, it just shows you that these markets are so strong that even if you add more housing units, the markets will be resilient and there won't be a dive in the markets. Well, maybe, maybe not. You tell me. New York is currently number 1, Bridgeport number 6, Hartford number 11, Providence, Rhode Island number 12, New Haven is 18. Among the biggest gainers, Albany, Poughkeepsie, Springfield, Mass, Worcester, Mass. There you go. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Springfield was a net change, down $1.3 billion. Can you blame it? I'm sorry. I like Springfield, kind of. Worcester lost money, and Boston did as well. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Are you may be an affordable housing proponent? Are you still going to be a proponent and a supporter of that if it takes money out of your pocket?
Did you run out of the house and miss breakfast? And now there's nothing in the office kitchen? Then you need the WICC City Line Florist Breakfast Brigade. We'll bring delicious treats from Cakes by Sonia and make our way around southern Connecticut until we reach your office. Sign up at voiceofct.com and the WICC City Line Florist Breakfast Brigade will be on the way.
Safety, security, control, just some of the reasons to call Nick and his team at Property Protection Consulting. Hey, it's Melissa, and I use PPC for our doorbell cameras, smart thermostats, and surveillance cameras because they make my home and family feel safe and secure. Plus, everything is easy to operate. It's all on one app, and if something goes wrong, somebody from the team comes out right away. For security systems for your home or business, book a complimentary consultation with locally owned Property Protection Consulting at ppcalarms.com. Tell them Melissa sent you.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
I'm Barbara from Trumbull, and I've used Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning since 2012 when he diagnosed the source of a carbon monoxide problem when no one else could. I use him for maintenance and emergency situations for that reason. He has always been able to fix any problem in my home. There's no one better than Steve Basso.
Looking for a reliable plumbing or HVAC company? Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and AC has proven customer satisfaction since 1974. Go to BassoPHAC.com. That's BassoPHAC.com. This is your CT Insider weather update. Today, partly to mostly cloudy with a chance of rain, highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. Temperatures dip into the 50s later on. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Powered by CT Insider.
There's more to Connecticut with CT Insider, a hometown behind every headline. With every issue, investigation, or interview, there's more when you're following from the inside. Visit ctinsider.com for more.
Hi, I'm Lee Gainham, that garden guy from Gainham's Garden Center and Florist in Fairfield. Do you have questions about your garden? Tune in to That Garden Guy Sunday mornings at 8 for an hour of lively talk about your favorite pastime. We'll have weekly do's and don'ts and gardening tips of the week for our specific area, and we'll take your phone calls so we can offer solutions to problems you may be having in your lawn and garden right now. Call in and talk with me, That Garden Guy, Sunday mornings at 8 on WICC 600 and 95.9.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from Cadillac of Greenwich Studios, CadillacofGreenwich.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 northbound, over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The lower Merritt is your best bet right now. Wilbur Cross, southbound, late running road work between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and 84 eastbound, volume delays in Danbury into the Super 7. Traffic report powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Eliason and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give: peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Andrew Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
He might not agree with you, but he promises to listen. Join Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli. 203-333-9422. WICC 600 and 95.9. The voice of Connecticut.
Starting to get more information here, rolling in on all the wire services and on all the all-news television networks here. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk shot during an event in Utah. You've probably seen Charlie. His stuff appears a lot on social media. He's got a very active social media movement here. And what he does is he does kind of these, is kind of a cool thing. He does these open debates. He goes to college campuses all around. I think he may have actually been in Connecticut at a couple of spots here. And he basically has kind of the town square thing going, where he will pick up on a hot button topic or will have an open mic, and some people for and against him will talk about hot button issues like guns, immigration, abortion, whatever. So Charlie Kirk has been Charlie Kirk has been quite the, what's the word I'm looking for? Quite the messenger for the Trump wing of the Republican Party. Initial reports here are not good by what some eyewitnesses were saying, but we will, you know me, I like to lay low on that because you cannot take what anybody says seriously in that situation, because 5 or 6 people may view a situation 5 or 6 different ways. But CNN and some other outlets are talking to some newspaper journalists there that were covering this. It was a very, very big crowd. There is some video out there. You could see people scrambling away from the situation. Again, this took place at a college in Utah. So we will continue to keep an eye on that for you as well. Another update coming up from CBS less than about 5 minutes away right here on WICC with the latest, of course, updates top and bottom of the hour. And again, Charlie Kirk has over the Trump years, particularly the late 20-teens into 2020 and up through 2024, he is seen as, or was seen as, or is seen as a major, very effective messenger at going out to college campuses, putting himself out there, taking slings and arrows and engaging in debate. That's, all you want to do. Whether you love somebody or not, whether you despise what they're saying or not, the best thing to do is debate it and see whichever angle somebody is coming from here and see if you can formulate cogently and gracefully an opposing viewpoint to that. So, again, an update coming up momentarily. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk shot during an event in Utah. As we continue. Hey, coming up on the show a little bit later on here, our pal, Ben Proto, Connecticut State Republican Party chairman. Ben wants to come on and refute and actually talk about an op-ed he ran. He issued for the Hartford Courant, kind of a rebuttal to what I read you a couple of weeks ago that was written by, I think, our friends Bob Duff and Martin Looney from the Connecticut Democratic Senate Caucus up in Hartford, saying, hey, how wonderful Connecticut is. Oh, it's so great. It's great for middle-class families. Really, Bob? Really, Marty? Marty, I've known you for years, but come on. Tell me you're not starting to a little on it. It's an alternate universe with some of these people, how great Connecticut is. And listen, at a base level, I love this place. I really do. Four Seasons, good people, smart people. But as far as forward thinking, come on, stop. I mean, just talk about energy policy. Where's our cogent? And boy, I got to tell you, you talk about a canary in a coal mine for this. Where is our cogent energy policy here in this state? We talk about this all the time. Where is the plan? Well, it's going to take a long time. Well, all right. If it's going to take a long time, I don't know. I'm no whiz at this stuff, but maybe if it's going to take a long time, you start as soon as you can and you lay out a plan with everybody's input and say by this, that, and the other year, we need to be doing this. Why are we doing that? So we're not really good that way. Is Connecticut that great when it comes to how it treats businesses? Now, yeah, we have a lot of successful businesses in this state. We have a lot of successful business people. We have a lot of people who are smart enough to work at these businesses, but yet over and over, again and again, whether it's a Wall Street Journal, whether it's Fox Business, whether it's Market Watch, whether it's Bloomberg, whether it's CNBC, we are either at the bottom or near the bottom of the pack when it comes to costs of doing business and business friendliness. So, I don't know what, I haven't talked to Marty in years. Maybe maybe I should do maybe my old friend Martin Looney, maybe I should conduct, what is that, a wellness check they do if you have some elderly relative? I'm kidding. I kid Marty. He always used to come on when I asked him. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Dan Haar, Hearst, Connecticut Media, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Oh, and you remember yesterday with our regular Tuesday guest in the 5 o'clock hour, Megan Portfolio, you remember she said she wrote a column and heard a state rep, a Democrat from Avon, kind of say something that sounded a little awkward, saying, well, if you don't go to college, you have a good chance of becoming a burden on taxpayers here in the state. Well, her column kind of, and you heard it first, she published that column right before she posted it, right before she came on here, and boy, oh boy, has she kicked up a dust storm on that. Talk about a dust up, courtesy of our friend Megan Portfolio. So all that and more coming up right here. Latest straight ahead on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The lower Merritt is your best bet right now. Wilbur Cross southbound late running roadwork between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel, and 84 eastbound volume delays in Danbury into the Super 7. Traffic report powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Eliason and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give: peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Matt Krause with WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
It's time to make an appointment to tour Forest Hills Milford, one of the newest luxury rental 55 and over communities in Connecticut. Step into a home where every detail is designed to offer ease and comfort. Forest Hills Milford's spacious, brand new luxury apartments include assigned garage parking with elevator access and use modern technologies to bring ease and comfort to everyday living. Nestled in the beauty of Milford, close to beaches, golf, marinas, and more. Visit foresthillsmilford.info to learn more. Forest Hills Milford, home made easy.
When it comes to getting the guaranteed lowest price on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go: Town Fair Tire. And when it comes to getting more free services for life than anywhere else on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go: Town Fair Tire. So when you're in the market for the best deal on Falcon tires, get to Town Fair, because nobody beats a Town Fair tire deal. And I mean absolutely nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation.
Call 800-838-8614. 800-838-8614. That's 800-838-8614.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor, is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Never met a dent we couldn't smooth out. At Sono Collision, we turn your oopsie daisy into amazing with our top-notch repair. No more crying over crumpled fenders. We'll erase your car's memory of that pesky light pole. Cruise over to Sono Collision today, where even your car forgets its accidents. Visit us at sonocollision.com, because a good car deserves a great recovery.
Hi, this is David from Standard Oil. Do you know why Standard Oil was voted best oil company in Connecticut? Great service, day or night. If you have a heating emergency at 2 a.m., Standard Oil has service technicians who work through the night to ensure fast response to heating emergencies, usually within 2 hours. Most importantly, great service means truly knowledgeable technicians who care about customers. For great service, day or night, call Standard Oil or visit us online at standardoil.com.
Evolve your vehicle ownership experience with Maritime Chevrolet of Fairfield. Take the hassle out of vehicle maintenance and choose Mobile Service Plus at Maritime, where our technicians come to you. We can replace your brakes, change your oil, and update all your maintenance at your home or office. No lines, no traffic, and no inconvenience. We meet you on your terms at MaritimeChevy.com, where world-class technicians and superior hospitality come standard. That's MaritimeChevy.com.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. NATO sent fighter jets to shoot down Russian drones over Poland. Olivia Rinaldi reports from the White House there is reason for the worry.
NATO allies are seeing this as certainly a threat. And this is something that President Zelensky has said consistently, which is he won't stop at Ukraine. President Putin will keep going if we do not deter this aggression.
Still, Zelensky blasted global leaders today for inaction. He says Russia is testing the limits of what is possible. The European Commission is threatening possible sanctions against Israel for yesterday's attack on Hamas leaders in Qatar. Former U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Edward Jajarian.
The Trump administration has floated a comprehensive ceasefire deal in which Qatar, as a key mediator, has been in these ceasefire talks, raises serious questions about Israel's intent on actually reaching an agreement at this time.
On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Tomorrow in Bridgeport, the 9/11 Day Foundation will be at the Total Mortgage Arena making food packages for those facing food insecurity statewide. This event is one of many that the foundation will be holding nationwide in honor of the attacks on September 11th, 2001. 9/11 Day co-founder Jay Winnick says events like these are about giving back and celebrating the sense of nationwide community that was felt following the attacks.
The point is to kind of come together, put aside any differences we have, and just be Americans and realize that everybody needs a helping hand once in a while. And these meal packs that we stage around the country, it's certainly not the only thing that 9/11 Day our organization does, but it's one way that people can give back. But I'll tell you, I have a front row seat to the most amazing outpouring of goodwill every 9/11.
The event will take place tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Tomorrow is the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. U.S. and state flags will be at half-staff from sunrise to sunset at all state buildings, grounds, and facilities in Connecticut. Governor Ned Lamont said the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge in New Haven will be illuminated in red, white, and blue lights at dusk tonight and tomorrow night. 161 people with ties to Connecticut were among the nearly 3,000 killed on September 11th, 2001. People across the country are being asked to mark the day in a special way tomorrow. Here's Sarah Lee Kessler.
Take a picture of the sky that day and post it to #RememberTheSky.
Beth Hillman, the president of the 9/11 Museum and Memorial, noting that many people remember the beauty of the sky on 9/11 before terrorists who'd commandeered airline jets slammed into the World Trade Center and Pentagon and crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. An art installation at the memorial commemorates the sky
with a different color of blue for every person who was killed by terrorists that day.
Nearly 3,000 tiles for each victim who died on September 11th.
The unofficial results are in for some key primary races in Connecticut. Controversial Bridgeport City Councilor Maria Pereira has survived a primary challenge. Pereira and Kayla Medina collected the most votes in the four-way 138th district contest, which was the only primary for a council seat this year in Bridgeport. The top two candidates advanced to the November election. Pereira was arrested earlier this year and accused of absentee ballot-related crimes during the 2023 election cycle. She's due in court September 16th on charges that include misrepresenting eligibility requirements, forgery, and disorderly conduct. In Norwalk, Barbara Smith wins the Democratic mayoral primary over Darlene Young. David Chess defeated Linda Manos to be Stratford Democratic candidate for mayor. In Oxford, First Selectman George Temple won the Republican primary over RTC-endorsed challenger Jeffrey Luff. A Yale University undergraduate has won the Democratic primary election for the Ward 1 seat on the New Haven Board of Alders. Elias Theodore defeated fellow Yale student Nora Lapter to essentially win the seat, as there is no Republican in the general election race. There were two other Board of Alders Democratic primaries held yesterday. Incumbent Angel Hubbard was the winner in the Ward 3 primary in the Hill, and Leland Moore has won the Ward 18 primary in Morris Cove. It is official, there will be a special election in Fairfield. Yesterday was the deadline to collect signatures in town that would support a special election for first selectman. Fairfield Republican State Senator Tony Wong initiated the effort, and earlier this morning on Melissa in the Morning on WICC said more than 3,000 signatures were collected beyond the 5% needed to approve an election.
We knocked it out of the ballpark. I'm so thrilled. The petition period cutoff was yesterday at 4 p.m., and I'm so very impressed in the voters of Fairfield and Southport for their overwhelming support, in demanding that democracy be in exercise and that a special election will be held.
First Select Woman Christine Vitale was unanimously appointed to the job last month following the passing of Bill Gerber. It's not clear when the special election will happen. Senator Richard Blumenthal is accusing the WNBA of interfering in negotiations surrounding the sale of the Connecticut Sun.
It is potentially breaking the rules, not necessarily the rules of the basketball court, but the legal court.
The state has been attempting to keep the team in state despite the Mohegan tribe's move to try to sell the team. In a post on his social media page, Senator Blumenthal threatened federal legal action if the interference continues.
Obstructing and potentially blocking negotiations are a possible violation of federal law. In fact, the antitrust laws specifically prevent misuse of your governance and market power in the way you may be doing. And I'm going to demand an investigation and action by appropriate federal authorities.
And Herring's in Noank is the only Connecticut restaurant on the New York Times list of 50 best restaurants in America 2025. The review said it's the, quote, New England seafood shack you've always wanted. Many of the other places on the list are in big cities like Boston, Chicago, and Miami. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 or the Parkway northbound, at least an hour from Stamford going through Fairfield and Bridgeport. Out of New Haven, 95 south. Volume delays through Long Wharf and West Haven. Wilbur Cross, southbound side, late running roadwork between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel. Stay to the right to get through. Route 8 northbound, you're on the brakes going into the Commodore Hole Bridge. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
If Fairfield is talking about it, so is Paul. Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. We'll do this talk or text. Once again, talk or text, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. A lot on the plate today. We'll have more continuing coverage here of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was shot during an event in Utah. Another update coming up at the top of the hour. You may see Charlie Kirk's social media presence a lot. He sits at what he calls the Prove Me Wrong table. He's done this on college campuses all over the country. And you take a look at the massive crowd that the video is showing there in Utah. And, it's just, it's rough. You take a look at this crowd, and there were literally, there's got to be a few thousand people there standing around at this event. And, who knows how close this assailant was, whether the shot came from further back in the crowd or whether it was point blank to that situation. But again, looks like a security nightmare, and we're efforting some experts to chat about this. But once again, conservative activist Charlie Kirk shot during an event in Utah. And he's a guy that you may not recognize the name per se. But if you see the stills and the video that are floating around now on conservative media and also in the general news media as well, this story now has gone pretty much worldwide. It's the kind of situation where you sit back and you look at this and you say, oh, him. Yes, I've seen him. and a guy who was, very, very effective at articulating and debating on college campuses, maybe with ideas you don't necessarily agree with. But as I always say on shows like this, you have a scenario where, okay, here's what I think, and here's why I tell you what I think. And Kirk has, let's be careful here, has a talent of being able to do that and kind of turn your words around on you. And in his mind, pointing out a scenario where you may want to rethink your thinking on something. Now, again, and by the way, they do have somebody in custody here. We should mention that, too. So apparently there is, somebody in custody. And this is a story that does not necessarily, although the media is going to make it that way, this is a story that should not have a D or an R next to it, a Democrat or Republican. Because if it was even a liberal who was articulate as Charlie Kirk was, it still makes it heinous. Because it's a scenario now where is this going to stifle, for example, debate on campuses? We're getting a report now. CNN is reporting that Charlie Kirk was shot from a campus building 200 yards away. So that would indicate, obviously, not a handgun, but some sort of long gun. More coverage of this coming up right here on WICC.
Touchdowns, goals, spikes. For the most in-depth information on local high school sports and this week's Play of the Week, check out The Rudin Report at therudinreport.com. See and subscribe. Powered by the new Genesis of Ridgefield, located in Norwalk.
Do you truly understand the impact of taxes on your retirement savings? Would you like to keep more of your hard-earned money? Attend Bridgelight Financial's Taxes in Retirement event, September 16th and 18th at El Palio in Shelton. It's a free workshop discussing real tax saving strategies. Click BridgelightAdvisors.com and register.
This is Bill Levitt, president of Bridgelight Financial Advisors. We'll show you real tax savings on your savings.
Come to our next event at El Palio in Shelton. Register today at BridgelightAdvisors.com. BridgelightAdvisors.com.
Save more on heating costs this winter with this special offer from Hoffman Energy. Switch now and get $125 free heating oil. Visit HoffmanEnergy.com or call 877-359-0623 now.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 or the Parkway northbound, at least an hour from Stamford, going through Fairfield and Bridgeport. Out of New Haven, 95 south. Volume delays through Long Wharf and West Haven. Wilbur Cross, southbound side, late running road work between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel. Stay to the right to get through. Route 8 northbound, you're on the brakes going into the Commodore Holt Bridge. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorik on WICC.
Saying everything that's on his mind. Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli. WICC 695.9. The voice of Connecticut.
All right, more information now coming in on this shooting of Charlie Kirk, a conservative activist concentrating on getting young folks to listen to a conservative message here. Used to set up, in fact, what he had set up in this area of this college in Utah was what's called a change my mind table. He did these kind of open debates here, and now we're seeing that he was obviously, it had to be some sort of a long gun here from 200 yards away, shot the shooter, apparently, who they have in custody, shot from a campus building. And joining us right now, a gentleman that we turn to in situations like this. He spent over 20 years with the U.S. Secret Service, numerous certifications and qualifications, teaches now for years, friend of the radio station at the University of New Haven, Bobby McDonald. Bobby, too bad we have to talk to you on a day like today, but thank you, sir, and thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hey, Paul, thanks for having me. I actually had you on the radio on the way home, so thanks for the opportunity to be with you again.
Well, Bobby, thank you. And again, just looking at the layout of this college here, this was a big open space, Bobby, and Charlie Kirk was holding court. There was a lot of students there. They were going through a back and forth here. But I don't know whether you've seen this. He was set up under a tent. Obviously, he's a private citizen, Bobby, and unless his organization, Turning Point USA, was going to pay for, bulletproof enclosures, which were not there, this, from your point of view, I would imagine would be a very tough scenario and a tough area to secure here. But you tell us.
Yeah, I'm looking at the tape now, and I just saw the graphic tape of when the projectile hit him. It doesn't look like we're going to have a good outcome here, although we don't have any confirmation of that yet. Somebody picking that off at 200 yards, that's one heck of a shot. You can see that the amphitheater there, if we can call it that, is graduated up with a number of people.
Mm-hmm.
I see two what look to be security guard type people standing on the side of the dais where he's sitting. Obviously, that doesn't do a darn thing for a situation like this. We've talked before that security in these matters is based on intelligence. It's also based on the fact that it costs money. And a lot of times security or security type assets for these type of events are what hit the cutting room floor because somebody doesn't want to pick up the tab for this. Look, we're in a time where we've had 2 assassination attempts on President Trump. We had a young lady lose her life the other day, or we're watching the tapes of her lose her life on a light rail down in Charlotte. We're hearing a lot about crime is going down. Well, hubcaps and candy bar stealing may be going down, but a lot of this stuff is out in the open, and we're seeing it every night on the news.
Bobby, from what you know about this, and I understand there's a lot of information we don't know yet, but obviously, Bobby, or you tell me, obviously not, are we talking from 200 yards away here? Is this a long gun? Would this have to be, for example, Bobby, an AR-type weapon here with a round that can be legally purchased?
Hard to say. There are so many different types of weapons that can be used at that length. 200 yards, that's somebody that knows what they're doing. And obviously, to find a perch that would give them the access and the shot that they were looking for in this instance, somebody did their homework. Who knows what they were involved with before? Did they scope this out for a day or so? Did they find themselves in a spot where they wanted to be? They did their homework and obviously have caused some damage here, and I'm a little bit concerned on what the outcome is going to be here.
Yeah, and Bobby, I have to tell you, no matter what the outcome here is, and it's one of these things, Bobby, that you, from your angle of it, with your deep law enforcement background, and me having covered events like this and being in the news, it's almost sad, Bobby, that we're in a scenario now where we look at this and we say, wow. And the first thing, Bobby, that kicks into our minds, especially guys like you and me, are like, wow, this is not safe. Bad things could happen here.
Right. Spot on, Paul, as usual. Look, differing viewpoints need to be discussed about different topics. That's what this country is all about. Conservatives, liberals, everybody in between. He's had a pretty good relationship with the liberals, whether it's Gavin Newsom on the podcast. I mean, he's one of those ones that gets out there. He doesn't get nasty. He articulates his point. He's very good at debate. He's had a good relationship. So you wonder, again, who's putting this together, who wanted him taken out here today, and was it based on something specifically that he said in the past or some type of a hot button issue that's out there. College campuses where I work now, that's what we want. We want robust discussion.
Yeah.
We want differing views. We want our kids to be out there dipping their toe in the water of different topics and be able to express themselves and go out and live life, as we've talked about with the school shootings, the same concept around that. We don't want to lock these places down. But I think between this thing now, the thing we saw in Charlotte, I think when you look at the pharmaceutical CEO gunned down here, you're gonna see a lot more private security and a lot more magnetometers, and we're going to be standing in a lot more lines to get into a lot of events coming forward.
And maybe, Bobby, in a situation like this where you have these outdoor events, which you have told me in the past are just nightmares to secure, maybe in the future, if this happens again or if there's somebody else who conducts these open debates, I mean, you wonder, hey, we're not going to appear there unless you have a person, stationed on every rooftop, on every floor, and every window. And as you say, for private events here, somebody who may be a thought leader on either side of the aisle, that costs money.
Right. And look, it's important. I mean, I'm not even sure that everybody at this event going through a magnetometer would have negated this action today. If this individual was perched up on the top of a building or in a window somewhere, he's not probably going to be going through a metal detector. So, it's nice for everybody to throw that out, that that's going to be the solution. The solution is we got to start talking, as we've said many times on your show with you. We've got to start talking about the mental health issues. We've got to start talking about the gun issues, the drug issues, alcohol issues, people losing their job. There's some story that this individual has, and it brought him to this actions today. So there's a lot more to this. There's a lot more we're going to have to investigate. But boy, oh boy, what a horrible day in Utah for both conservatives and our liberals. This isn't good for any side of the aisle.
Yeah, Bobby McDonald, Bobby at UNH. Bobby, thank you so much. As always, we'll talk down the road, I'm sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Paul. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bobby McDonald there, former longtime multi-decade Secret Service agent, and one of his specialties was advance work and locking down scenarios here and site surveys and all that. And you look at this here, and again, Charlie Kirk shot not obviously, but the thought is a long gun from a campus building 200 yards away. And we just heard from Bobby McDonald at UNH that, you have a scenario here where that is, that's not an easy shot. So now we just wait. Apparently the video has not looked good from what people said. And now it is a scenario of, on one aspect, you look at something like this and you say, well, thank God this doesn't happen more. Frankly, I'm shocked this doesn't happen more. I'm just not. I'm just shocked, rather, I should say, this doesn't happen more with the availability of guns and with, frankly, the tenor of the political atmosphere that we're in. And I only say, not even half kiddingly, with complete seriousness, everybody's got to calm down. Now, again, we don't know what the scenario was with the shooter here. We have no idea, as Bobby said, whether he or she is a lone wolf, whether or not there is anything to do with some sort of organization. Was it something he said? Was it an answer he may have given somebody at one time? Was it somebody who, was just triggered by something he said in some sort of a, debate? Who knows? Could it have been somebody that he actually debated one-on-one? If you go online and watch some of his videos, he remains calm. He has counterpoint with people. But some of the people you can see that he rebuts forcefully but politely, I mean, there is anger there. There is sometimes what you see in these videos that end up on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and all that. I'm like, oh, there's a Charlie Kirk video. And, there he is, sometimes with a smile on his face. And then, the person gets very angry and literally starts screaming at them. Now, again, I don't think politics or any disagreements should ever make people's eyes bug out or scream, but it does. Again, we don't know the mental state of what the shooter, he or she, may have been going through. But again, once again, if you're just joining us, conservative activist Charlie Kirk, you may know him through Turning Point USA, a conservative organization, a pro-Trump organization. He was doing, I guess, stop one of a campus tour today, an event in Utah, and now police are saying that he was shot at least once from 200 yards away with what would have to be, I would think, a some sort of a long rifle. I have a limited knowledge of guns, but, Could a handheld round have gone from 200 yards? I don't know. You're listening to and asking the wrong person here. Traffic and weather together right here, WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 or the Parkway northbound, at least an hour from Stamford going through Fairfield and Bridgeport out of New Haven. 95 south. Volume delays through Long Wharf and West Haven. Wilbur Cross, southbound side, late running road work between exit 50 and 46 before the West Rock Tunnel. Stay to the right to get through. Route 8 northbound, you're on the brakes going into the Commodore Hole Bridge. I'm Andrew Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Did you know tens of thousands of mothers, fathers, children, and seniors right here in Southern Connecticut face food insecurity? Moms going without so they can feed their children? That's why the Bridgeport Rescue Mission is relaunching their mobile kitchen, so they can deliver fresh hot meals directly into our streets and communities that need it most. Please help the relaunch of the Bridgeport Rescue Mission's mobile kitchens. Give today to BridgeportRescueMission.org, because no child, no senior, no human should ever go hungry.
Imagine talking to thousands of local consumers about your business. You will with your ads on the Voice of Connecticut.
It all comes up to your sales rep. Here, Maria, my sales rep, try to understand my business, customize my need, and that make it different than any other experience that I had.
Real stories, real results. It's why advertising on the Voice of Connecticut works. Learn more. Email sales@voiceofct.com.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The Voice of Connecticut. WICC's 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli.
All right, coming up in about a minute and 40 seconds at the top of the hour before Chris Williams updates us on our local news and breaking news here. We have the latest from CBS. You may have heard of Charlie Kirk. K-I-R-K, the name may ring a bell. He is the head of a group called Turning Point USA. It's a conservative group aimed at getting a conservative message out to young folks right around late teens, early 20s, high schools and college. Charlie Kirk was delivering one of his outdoor speeches, as he usually does. He takes on these massive crowds of students. It's kind of a man on the street thing. He debates. Well, he was doing this in Utah, and he was shot. Shot from about 200 yards away. Police are saying somebody from a high vantage point, I would think likely with a long gun, but that's me saying that. We haven't heard that from the police, but as one of our go-to guys, Bobby McDonald, said earlier on this show, that's a long shot from 200 yards away with one or two rounds. So we will give you an update on that and more coming up. Anything you'd like to comment on this? We're going to be civil about this today, and if not, I'm just not going to take you. So just a warning there. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC, talk or text. But what I'm going to say is let's wait till we get more information on this. I don't know a lot of this. You don't. Take a breath. Let's all act like adults.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been shot during an appearance at Utah Valley University. CBS News has learned a suspect is in custody now. This witness to the event.
I just saw him grab, it looked like his neck, and there's just blood pouring out everywhere. And his eyes kind of rolled back. And it was just one pop. And then we all dropped to the ground, and then they told us all to run.
CBS's Nancy Chen.
The host of the Charlie Kirk Show, which is a very popular program known for his youth conservative movement. This tour, though, had sparked, we should point out, quite a bit of controversy. This was the first stop, but there were petitions and there was quite a bit of outcry when it said that he was going to be coming to campus.
Our Ed O'Keefe has more on Kirk.
Charlie Kirk is a 31-year-old originally from the Chicago suburbs, an incredibly influential figure in conservative politics. He was meeting last fall during the presidential transition with President Trump to pick cabinet nominees. He's a close friend of Donald Trump Jr., who was among those pushing the now president to pick J.D. Vance as his running mate.
President Trump posted on Truth Social, "We must all pray for Charlie Kirk." NATO scrambled fighter jets to shoot down Russian drones in Poland's airspace in what's seen as a major test for the alliance. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Last night, Russia launched drones into Poland in an unprecedented attack. I've been in touch with the Polish Prime Minister this morning to make clear our support for Poland.
CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
The question to consider now, was this an accident or was this deliberate? Basically, was this an attempt by Putin to test what NATO might do if it was attacked?
The White House was monitoring events, and President Trump was expected to speak with Poland's president. Trump's emergency order that federalized Washington's police force is expiring. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns on Capitol Hill.
The president, through an executive order, was able to deploy the National Guard for 30 days. It is up to now Congress to decide whether to extend it. Republican leaders up here are leaving it as is because they say that the steps that the D.C. mayor is taking are sufficient for now.
The former Justice Department attorney accused of hurling a sub sandwich at a federal agent in Washington has pleaded not guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge. The man who killed John Lennon, Mark David Chapman, has been denied parole for the 14th time. Chapman is now 70 years old. He shot Lennon outside his New York apartment building. On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed. The Dow off 220 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves. Make Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Active Liver is available online at Amazon or find it in stores at CVS, Meijer, and now available at ShopRite.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The unofficial results are in for some key primary races in Connecticut. Controversial Bridgeport City Councilor Maria Pereira has survived a primary challenge. Pereira and Kayla Medina collected the most votes in the four-way 138th District contest, which was the only primary for a council seat this year in Bridgeport. The top two candidates advanced to the November election. Pereira was arrested earlier this year and accused of absentee ballot-related crimes during the 2023 election cycle. She's due in court September 16th on charges that include misrepresenting eligibility requirements, forgery, and disorderly conduct. In Norwalk, Barbara Smith wins the Democratic mayoral primary over Darlene Young. David Chess defeated Linda Manos to be Stratford Democratic candidate for mayor. In Oxford, First Selectman George Temple won the Republican primary over RTC-endorsed challenger Jeffrey Luff. A Yale University undergraduate has won the Democratic primary election for the Ward 1 seat on the New Haven Board of Alders. Elias Theodore defeated fellow Yale student Nora Laughter to essentially win the seat, as there is no Republican in the general election race. There were two other Board of Alders Democratic primaries held yesterday. Incumbent Angel Hubbard was the winner in the Ward 3 primary in the Hill, and Leland Moore has won the Ward 18 primary in Morris Cove. Tomorrow in Bridgeport, the 9/11 Day Foundation will be at the Total Mortgage Arena making food packages for those facing food insecurity statewide. This event is one of many that the foundation will be holding nationwide in honor of the attacks on September 11th, 2001. 9/11 Day co-founder Jay Winnick says that events like these are about giving back and celebrating the sense of nationwide community that was felt following the attacks.
The point is to kind of come together, put aside any differences we have, and just be Americans and realize that everybody needs a helping hand once in a while. And these meal packs that we stage around the country, it's certainly not the only thing that 9/11 Day our organization does, but it's one way that people can give back. But I'll tell you, I have a front row seat to the most amazing outpouring of goodwill every 9/11.
The event will take place tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And tomorrow is the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. U.S. and state flags will be at half-staff from sunrise to sunset at all state buildings, grounds, and facilities in Connecticut. Governor Ned Lamont said the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge in New Haven will be illuminated in red, white, and blue lights at dusk tonight and tomorrow night. People across the country are being asked to mark the day in a special way tomorrow. Here is Sarah Lee Kessler.
Take a picture of the sky that day and post it to #RememberTheSky.
Beth Hillman, the president of the 9/11 Museum and Memorial, noting that many people remember the beauty of the sky on 9/11 before terrorists who'd commandeered airline jets slammed into the World Trade Center and Pentagon and crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. An art installation at the memorial commemorates the sky
with a different color of blue for every person who was killed by terrorists that day.
Nearly 3,000 tiles for each victim who died on September 11th.
I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The upper Merritt might save you a few minutes. On Route 8, northbound side, we have police activity reported just past the Commodore Hole Bridge, has things backing up into Shelton. New Haven 91 southbound over 15 minutes from exit 6 down through the merge through Long Wharf and into West Haven. And on 84 eastbound, you're busy through Danbury into the Super 7. And this traffic report is powered by the Connecticut Lottery. Now play your favorite draw games at ctilottery.org. Odds vary by game. Must be 18 or older to purchase. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Mitch Krause, WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, right you are. 2 hours down, 2 to go, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Once again, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Case you're just joining us, in case you make a habit of turning us on right around the 4 o'clock news when you get in the car, there's a breaking story today that will send reverberations through many worlds, the political world, the academic world, the world of security and event planning. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been shot in Utah. No word on his condition. The video apparently does not look good. Police say in Utah, this is at a college in Utah, and police say they apparently have a man in custody. The shot was made from about 200 yards away from an elevated position. Not an easy shot, says one of my law enforcement sources here that we had on, Bobby McDonald from UNH. Now, you may say, who is Charlie Kirk? The name might be familiar. Well, he heads an organization called Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk was instrumental in mobilizing young voters, not just toward Donald Trump, but toward conservative ideas as well. In fact, we did the story earlier in the week here that said the Democrats were concerned because they were seeing a frightening amount of young people gravitating toward Republican ideas in their minds. And what Charlie Kirk had done, or still does, and what he was doing today, he goes to colleges. And I've seen him, his debate stuff is all over the place. I think he was in England a couple of weeks ago. He's all over the country. And frankly, I would see him in these settings, especially when he's outside. Now, I saw him recently at Oxford. Okay, Oxford's very controlled. I know there's security there, but some of these outdoor places, there's nobody between him and somebody, sometimes politely debating him, other times, not so much. And, I would always look at these saying, what is to stop someone? I mean, I don't mean to be morbid here, but these are the things you look at. And it's sad that in this scenario, we always think of the worst. Now, I like I say, I don't want to hear, and I know we're already starting to hear it or say, well, very divisive. Well, good debates are divisive on both sides. It doesn't mean you shoot someone. No matter how egregious you may think what their message may be, it doesn't mean you shoot someone. It doesn't. And again, we don't know anything as to if there are or is or are any connections with the shooter in some group. Who knows? Who knows? Law enforcement, being how it operates, will probably know something about the gunman or gunwoman, probably a man, but we don't know. We'll probably know something about that later on today or tonight. Now, they're combing his, if he does have any social media history, if there is a mental health history, if there is a history previously with law enforcement, who knows? Who knows? 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. We continue on Connecticut Today.
You're not always near your radio, but you still want to stay informed on Fairfield County matters. There are lots of ways to enjoy WICC beyond your radio at 695.9. Stream us free at work on voiceofct.com or on your smartphone by downloading our app. And now it's easier than ever to listen on your smart speaker when you say, play WICC. The voice of Connecticut is always live, local, and free, wherever you are.
Hi, this is David from Standard Oil. If you use propane to heat your home, now is the right time to sign up for automatic delivery and our award-winning service. We deliver propane for heating your home, propane for your cooktop, propane for your pool heater, and propane for your generator. We can even install a new propane fireplace in time for the holiday festivities. Most importantly, our technicians work 24/7 to provide you with the absolute best service possible. So for all your heating oil, air conditioning, and propane needs, call Standard Oil today or visit us online at standardoil.com.
Here at Stamford Health, expert care begins with a conversation, where big innovations are helping the tiniest patients in our NICU, and mental health means community health. Here, we're collaborating with world-class partners like Columbia University Irving Medical Center, Dana-Farber Brigham Cancer Center, and HSS to redefine cardiac, neurological, cancer, and orthopedic care. From the everyday to the complex, Stamford Health. Care It's different here.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor, is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Looking for quality dental care close to home? Columbia Dental in Norwalk is here for you. As part of our robust network of 12 locations, we're open 6 days a week to fit your busy schedule. From routine cleanings and checkups to implants and oral surgery, Columbia Dental provides complete care for the whole family, all in one place. Call us today at 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com. That's columbiadental.com. Your smile, our priority.
Discover the finest flooring in Southern Connecticut at Courtesy Carpet. With over 50 years experience, from intricate area rugs and durable vinyl to elegant stair runners, they have it all. Shop anywhere, but see them before you buy. Visit Ellen J and their team on Route 111 in Monroe or at courtesycarpet.com. Financing is available, so you can get the floors you love today. Trust the experts in quality flooring, because at Courtesy Carpet, your satisfaction is their courtesy.
For over a century, Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull has been a beacon of support and compassion for families navigating the profound challenges of grief and loss. Family owned since 1906, we are dedicated to helping you honor your loved ones with dignity and respect. Trust our experienced team to guide you through this difficult time, allowing you to celebrate a life well lived. Abriola.com, your legacy, our commitment.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from Cadillac of Greenwich Studios, CadillacofGreenwich.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The Upper Merritt might save you a few minutes. On Route 8, northbound side, we have police activity reported just past the Commodore Hole Bridge, has things backing up into Shelton. New Haven, 91 southbound, over 15 minutes from exit 6 down through the merge through Long Wharf and into West Haven. And on 84 eastbound, you're busy through Danbury into the Super 7. And this traffic report is powered by the Connecticut Lottery. Now play your favorite draw games at ctilottery.org. Odds vary by game. Must be 18 or older to purchase. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Mitch Krause, WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Say what's on your mind and say it live. 203-333-WICC. Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, we get an update here that I guess Charlie Kirk is still alive, but he is in critical condition after getting shot in the neck. So we will continue to follow breaking news with that story. We keep you up to date here, and we have another update coming up at the bottom of the hour at 31 past right here on WICC. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Other stories going on in the state today. Boy, there is a big ruckus happening about a comment that was made, and we talked about this yesterday with our friend Megan Portfolio from the Yankee Institute about a comment made regarding workers who choose, for whatever reason, not to go to college, and about them being a quote-unquote burden. It was made by a state rep from Avon, and we have another member of the Republican State House Caucus joining us right now, State Rep Tim Ackert, first time on the program from Coventry, with his thoughts on that. Tim, good afternoon. Good to have you on. How are you?
Good afternoon, and thank you. I'm happy to be on today.
Thank you, Tim. Despite the horrible news we have nationally here, it's horrible, and we'll have another update on that coming up at the bottom of the hour. But apparently, one of your compadres there from across the aisle in the State House, maybe she says now she was misunderstood, but she made a comment, Tim, regarding people being a burden if they didn't go to college. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you think that's been interpreted here, received by some folks?
Well, unfortunately, it's been received from many of the people that I work with. So just a quick background, I've been an electrical contractor after I got out of the military and essentially been in the trade since 1981. I've worked hard and been very successful. Many of the people that I work with in and out of the business, but mainly in the trades and service providers, whether it's a truck driver, machine operators, roofers, painters, you name it.
Yeah.
They all do very well. They all do very well, and they're not a burden. And I don't believe that the representative was forward-thinking on what would repercussions happen from a comment like that, because I have been a strong proponent of higher ed. I actually served as a trustee for the community colleges for 4 years under Governor Rell.
Oh, wow.
I also been on the higher education committee for 13 of my 15 years without a college degree.
Not bad. Very well.
So I've done, so I've gotten places in life without having to sit at a school. Listen, did I want to go to college? I wanted to go to college. I was from a poor family, and my mom just did not think we could do it. I would have loved to. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll find myself in a college setting. But right now, I am so thankful that the training I provide for my apprentices in my trade has taken them to very high levels of income. And at 22 years old, the young man came up to me just recently and said to me, "Thank you, Mr. Ackert, for helping me get to this level where I have a healthy savings account at 22 years old and no debt. Because you gave me the opportunity in a viable job. And there's so many of these viable jobs throughout our state and country that pay very, very good wages and benefits. Union jobs, that's an area that we really think about. They do very, very well, right? And listen, I don't. In light of this isn't not an attack, because I think that we're served together. I think she's going to learn from this and will be a better legislator because of it. But just a fact, we invest tax dollars. All of us pay tax dollars to the state of Connecticut to fund people to go to college.
Yeah.
So us in the trades and in other service providers without college degrees, our tax dollars go to debt-free college. We have debt-free college that costs us about $35 to $40 million a year to allow people to go to college debt-free, and we're paying that. So we've got to start rethinking how we treat these good-paying jobs and how we talk about them. And actually, we're not a burden. That's the key.
Tim, I have a favorite restaurant that I always go to, and one of the servers there also is an electrical contractor on the side, and he was talking about the fact that he got into it now. And he's talking about, not that he didn't make decent money at the restaurant as a server, but he now feels almost financially liberated because he can keep that server's job, kind of his fun job, and the job he gets tipped on, knowing that he has the foundation of a trades job like you're offering your workers.
Right. There was an article, and I don't know if it was from like Harvard Business or one of the others, that said the new millionaires.
Yeah.
And it talked about the good-paying jobs that we have in the state of Connecticut and elsewhere in New England that are not degree-related jobs. And they are typically licensed trades, but there's also home builders that aren't, right? There's masons. These people, we can't find them, right? That's one of the biggest things. We can't find them.
Yeah, it's what I keep hearing. It's what I keep hearing, Tim. It's all I hear, yeah.
So I worked. It was sad. It was sad, but it happened. I worked 8 years, Paul, to get legislation to open the doors to more tradespeople. We finally passed that bill this year to open the doors. That it gets enacted in October and fully functional in February this year. That we actually limited trade jobs in the state of Connecticut. You know that? We actually limited by legislation people getting into the trades. and we were able to work across party lines, union and non-union, and pass a piece of legislation in the House and Senate and signed by the governor unanimously that finally says, hey, we know these jobs are valuable. So look forward to continuing to work on that going forward.
All right. State Rep Tim Acker. Tim, thanks for chatting with us. We appreciate it, and take care. Good to have you on.
Thank you, sir. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. We'll have Tim on more in the future. Another Tim holding on for us. Tim, real quick, sorry to keep you waiting. What's on your mind? You got about a minute and change. What's up?
Let's see if I can do this really quickly. I was watching the news the other day, and I was watching two big buildings imploding from the military attacking, and I was just going, I think we're just dumbfounded by violence. It doesn't affect us and everything. When you're shooting someone from 2 football fields away, you've got to have a scope probably.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. Absolutely along that. And I've been hearing, tomorrow's, the anniversary of 9/11 and everything. And and I hear so many people still with that, garbage that, is some sort of inside job.
Oh, please.
And everything. But the main thing is now I'm seeing people, Chris Murphy now and I ran somebody against him and everything.
Okay.
Now, he said something to the effect of, we have to fight fire with fire. And now people are saying, that's a call for violence and stuff. And I have to almost laugh. You remember Sarah Palin? I'll in this real quick.
I know.
She put the targets on, and everything. And, that's a bullseye. She wants to kill people. No, you guys got to, get some...
Everybody,
some sanity.
Tim, thank you. Everybody needs some sanity. Tim, thank you. Run a little behind. Traffic and weather together, WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The Upper Merritt might save you a few minutes. On Route 8, northbound side, we have police activity reported just past the Commodore Hole Bridge, has things backing up into Shelton. New Haven, 91 southbound, over 15 minutes from exit 6 down through the merge through Long Wharf and into West Haven. And on 84 eastbound, you're busy through Danbury into the Super 7. And this traffic report is powered by the Connecticut Lottery. Now play your favorite draw games at ctilottery.org. Odds vary by game. Must be 18 or older to purchase. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Mitch Krause, WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You've heard the term fall cleanup, and now make sure that getting your trees assessed on your property is part of the to-do list. Hey, Melissa Sheketoff here, and I've told you all about working with K&J Tree Service and having a free tree risk assessment done. My friend Mark over at K&J came out to our home back in the spring, and he identified a couple of trees that could be a real problem. We didn't have to remove the trees, but we did do some work to make sure they weren't going to be an issue if the next storm hit and caused destruction. Right now, as the seasons are changing, it is the perfect time to give your trees the care they deserve. At K&J Tree Service, they're offering a limited time 10% discount on all services to help you prepare your landscape for the winter months ahead. Whether you need pruning, trimming, or complete tree removal, their team of skilled professionals is ready to enhance the beauty and safety of your property. Don't wait until it's too late. Call them directly at 203-248-TREE or schedule an appointment at kjtreeservice.com. Take advantage of the incredible offer right now at K&J Tree Service. Go to kjtreeservice.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
All right, and we are at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. That, of course, is the number. Talk or text right here on Connecticut Today. You can also email me as well. Email is always up and underway and running at Paul at voiceofct.com. That's Paul, P-A-U-L, Paul at voiceofct at voiceofct.com. Facebook, it's facebook.com/voiceofct. Continuing coverage coming up. Charlie Kirk shot earlier today in the neck in Utah. You may recognize him. You may not recognize the name. But if you saw him, he runs an organization called Turning Point USA, very influential at energizing young voters on the Republican side. And by the way, now we're getting conflicting reports of whether or not law enforcement has a suspect in custody or not. So maybe we'll get a little update here coming up seconds away on whether or not that is a fact or not. From CBS, also Charlie Kirk said to be in critical condition after being shot at an event, one of his Change My Mind outdoor events at a college earlier today in Utah.
CBS News special report. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been shot at a university in Utah during an appearance. CBS's Anna Schechter.
We just heard from these eyewitnesses who saw an older man being taken into custody, and they heard him say, "I would do it again."
One person taken into custody has been released, according to the university. Witnesses say there was little security.
There were some police officers up there. There was a security. There was no metal detectors or anything for us to go through. They didn't even check our tickets.
CBS's Robert Costa.
He likes being on these campuses, having the direct back and forth. And he was shot today doing what he loves the most, which is engage with people in a roaring debate in a rally setting.
CBS's Maurice Dubois.
From their chief marketing officer, this statement: he was shot in the neck. He's at the hospital, and it doesn't look good.
CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9, voice of Connecticut local news update.
A judge has ordered all weapons seized from a former Stamford police captain found to be at risk of harming himself or others. Diedrich Hahn retired from the department in 2023. He had his weapons seized on August 27th, and a Stamford Superior Court judge upheld that decision yesterday. No details have been released about what led to the order, except in court filings that refer to threats and acts of violence. Hahn is currently not facing any criminal charges related to the matter. State health officials have released new interim COVID-19 vaccine guidelines that differ from those released by the CDC. Dr. Joanne Pasalacqua from Hartford Healthcare says that there is a disconnect between specialists and current CDC regulations.
Our CDC is no longer recommending vaccine for healthy children and pregnant women. But I think in the infectious disease community, that thought process remains a little bit controversial.
According to the CDC, the vaccine is not recommended for pregnant women or children under 2, while Connecticut is still recommending vaccination for those groups.
Newborns born to vaccinated women are better protected, and it's important to understand that vaccine still works best to protect because natural infection only provides a short period of protection.
Several other states under Democratic leadership have made similar recommendations. Senator Richard Blumenthal is accusing the WNBA of interfering in negotiations surrounding the sale of the Connecticut Sun.
It is potentially breaking the rules, not necessarily the rules of the basketball court, but the legal court.
The state has been attempting to keep the team in state despite the Mohegan tribe's move to try to sell the team. In a post on his social media page, Senator Blumenthal threatened federal legal action if the interference continues.
Obstructing and potentially blocking negotiations are a possible violation of federal law. In fact, the antitrust laws specifically prevent misuse of your governance and market power in the way you may be doing. And I'm going to demand an investigation and action by appropriate federal authorities.
The unofficial results are in for some key primary races in Connecticut. In Norwalk, Barbara Smith wins the Democratic mayoral primary over Darlene Young. David Chess defeated Linda Manos to be the Stratford Democratic candidate for mayor. In Oxford, First Selectman George Temple won the Republican primary over RTC-endorsed challenger Jeffrey Luff. Maria Pereira also prevailed in Bridgeport Democrats' council primary against endorsed candidates, despite her arrest earlier this year and accusations of absentee ballot-related crimes during the 2023 election cycle. She's due in court September 16th on charges that include misrepresenting eligibility requirements, forgery, and disorderly conduct. It's official. There will be a special election in Fairfield. Yesterday was the deadline to collect signatures in town that would support a special election for First Selectman. Fairfield Republican State Senator Tony Wong initiated the effort, and earlier this morning on Melissa in the Morning on WICC said more than 3,000 signatures were collected beyond the 5% needed to approve an election.
We knocked it out of the ballpark. I'm so thrilled. The petition period cutoff was yesterday at 4 p.m., and I'm so very impressed in the voters of Fairfield and Southport for their overwhelming support. In demanding that democracy be in exercise and that a special election will be held.
First Select Woman Christine Vitale was unanimously appointed to the job last month following the passing of Bill Gerber. It's not clear when the special election will happen. Avelo Airlines is ending its seasonal service between Tweed New Haven Regional Airport and Portland, Maine. The flights between the two cities began in May as a test route to see if there was demand for such a flight. However, after a summer-long trial run, Avelo has determined that they did not see enough consistent need and a return date is not set for the route. Avelo continues to serve over 30 destinations from Tweed. And 5 Target stores in Connecticut are going to open at midnight on Friday, October 3rd, when Taylor Swift's new album goes on sale. There will be a limit of 4 albums per customer. Target is opening select stores nationwide for the special midnight release of The Life of a Showgirl. The Targets in Enfield, Newington, South Windsor, Southington, and Waterford will take part. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, way over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The Parkway is at least slightly better. New Haven, 91 southbound, up to 20 minutes. Exit 6 down through the merge and through Long Wharf into West Haven. And Route 8 north and southbound sides, heavy congestion into the Commodore Hall Bridge. Traffic report is powered by Optimum Business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with fast and secure fiber internet starting at $65 a month with 99.9% network reliability. Visit Optimum.com/business today. And that's Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
VoiceOfCT.com. Add us to your bookmarks and listen to Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli while you work. WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Talk or text. I had planned to have this gentleman on to talk about another issue in an op-ed. We'll save that for another day. We have a lot of campaigning coming up, months and months and months, but also still want to chat about what has been awful so far and does not look good. In case you're just joining us, conservative activist Charlie Kirk, an incredibly bright, engaging debater, loves one-on-one debates. He was doing something to that effect in front of thousands of people in Utah today when he was shot in the neck. You may not know the name, but you probably know his videos and his famous Change My Mind table, where he went on college campuses where I have said over and over again, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, we need more debate. And that's what Charlie Kirk was trying to do at a school in Utah. Joining us right now is the head of the Connecticut, he's the chairman of the Connecticut Republican Party, Ben Proto. Ben, thanks for still coming out and joining us today. We'll shift gears here. It's just awful news, Ben. This is just awful, mind-boggling.
I just put a statement out and said, this is, not how we do, not how we should be doing things in this country. You want to change things, we have a ballot box for that. This is what you do in banana republics. And look, today it's Charlie Kirk. The other day it was a young Ukrainian woman on a train, just, sitting down, had her headphones on, going home. It was 2 weeks ago, it was children in a school. And we've decided that the way we want to get people's attention to change things is by killing people, or trying to kill people. And that's, it's an abomination. First, obviously prayers for Charlie and his family. I had the opportunity to meet Charlie a couple years back, shortly after he became chair. Just a tremendously engaging man, very bright, very articulate man, and has an opinion and expresses that opinion, which every one of us has a right to do in this country. You don't have to agree with it. In fact, if you don't agree with it, you know what? Then take them on in a debate. Take them on at the ballot box. Take them on in a discussion. That's what this is about. This is what it should be about. And unfortunately, that's not the case. And we know what's going to happen. Everyone is out. Thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers. And we should have Charlie Kirk and all these innocent victims in our thoughts and prayers. But, I would suggest probably within about 10 minutes, we're going to hear, we need to control guns. We need to do something about guns. This is about guns. If there wasn't the gun, and we're going to take this back to gun, I suspect that the Democrats have already put out fundraising letters about the need for gun control, given this thing. And we just don't want to address the root cause of this problem, which clearly is a mental health issue. And we don't want to address those issues. And unfortunately, people are being shot and stabbed and killed for there's no such thing as for no good reason. There's never a good reason to kill someone, but as the saying goes, and it's really heartbreaking to watch where our country is going with this.
Especially today, Ben, where he was on a campus with just a huge crowd in front of him, engaging people. He has this, and I'm explaining to people who didn't know, he has this thing called a Change My Mind table. And I would see these things, Ben, and you probably did too. And I'm like, wow, that's guts to just face people down one-on-one, as you say, though, always with a smile, very engaging, and say, let's talk. And, Ben, it's not like when you and I went to school, because I remember at BU, we had people on the far right and far left, and everybody was fine. We all went out and had beer afterwards. We need more of what Charlie Kirk was doing on college campuses.
Absolutely. The way we change things in this country, right, left, or otherwise, is through discussion, through debate, and through the ballot box. Look, this is not the first time we've gone through this in this country. Unfortunately, it probably won't be the last. But it's becoming more prevalent and a more intense way of people wanting to make change through violence, through look at the situation up in Killingly. I'm sure you saw that with the guy with the signs out front, standing there with his very large gun on his property, which abuts a school. People in Killing are afraid. I've gotten calls from people up in Killingly on the Republican side said we're afraid to go knock on doors to talk about our running for office. So if you're going to silence debate that way, then shame on us.
Ben Proto, Connecticut State Republican Party Chair. Ben, thank you, and we'll be in touch. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Again, I apologize for earlier, Paul, but I think you understand.
No, I knew you probably ran into Charlie at once or twice. Ben, thank you, my friend. We'll talk.
Take care.
All right, Ben Proto there, who I had suspected met Charlie Kirk a few times down the pike of his political involvement. All right, we move along right here on WICC.
Now you can find out who's under the helmet and behind the jersey with the Rudin Report Athlete Profile. High school sports are made great by the student athletes who play them. Check out the High School Athlete Profile, sponsored by BMW of Darien at therudinreport.com.
You can't see it, you can't smell it, but radon gas could be putting your family at risk. Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that could be lurking in your home and cause serious risk to your family's health. Protect your family with a free on-site radon test from Apex Radon Solutions, your local Connecticut certified radon specialist. Apex Radon Solutions is offering free in-home radon test kits to help you detect and protect. Go to apexradonsolutions.com today to get your kit. Healthy air, healthy home with Apex Radon Solutions.
Want to know how business gets made in Connecticut? Check out the Made podcast at voiceofct.com. It's the official companion to the Made Leadership Series. Want to stay ahead of the curve and learn from top minds? Check out Connecticut-made.com and get made.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
It's time for the Market Scoreboard Report with Ron and Sana. Now on WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Stocks closed mixed today with the Dow coming off record levels, but the S&P and NASDAQ adding to new all-time highs as wholesale inflation came in tamer than expected, actually declining by 0.1% last month and opening the door further to a maybe even a deeper rate cut from the Federal Reserve than was expected. That could only be confirmed if consumer prices, which will be released tomorrow, show a similar waning inflationary pressures. Now, the Dow lost 220 points today to 45,490, but the S&P was up 19 to 6532. That's a new high. And the NASDAQ, with a 40% gain in Oracle, only eked out a 6.5-point gain to 21,886, still good enough for a record. Long-term interest rates fell. The yield on the 10-year note dropped to 4.04% on the soft inflation data. The dollar was steady. Oil up $1.18 to $63.81. Gold effectively flat on the day, ending at $36.82 the ounce as we gear up for tomorrow's consumer price report and then start the long weekly wait for the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 321-321. That's ALL to 321-321.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, way over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The Parkway is at least slightly better. New Haven, 91 southbound, up to 20 minutes. Exit 6 down through the Merge and through Long Wharf into West Haven. And Route 8 north and southbound sides, heavy congestion into the Commodore Hole Bridge. Traffic report is powered by Optimum Business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with fast and secure fiber internet starting at $65 a month with 99.9% network reliability. Visit Optimum.com/business today. That's Krause at WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Speak speak your mind. Because Paul certainly speaks his. 203-333-9422. Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli on WICC 695.9. The voice of Connecticut. We interrupt this program for breaking news. Now on WICC.
Several outlets, including the White House and President Trump, are saying that Charlie Kirk has died. Charlie Kirk is dead. Kirk fatally shot today, according to the New York Post, at a school, Utah Valley University. He was holding what he calls his American comeback tour. He was shot and killed, the New York Post says, by an assassin while on stage. Again, Utah Valley University, not the University of Utah, Utah Valley University. He was answering a question from an audience member about mass shootings committed by transgender people. This, according to the New York Post. Now, the shooter remains on the loose, sources told the Post, despite conflicting reports that an arrest was made. Video was circulating on social media showing an older man being hauled away by police. But even before Charlie Kirk's death, President Trump was speaking of him in the past tense, telling the New York Post, quote, "He's not doing well. Yes, it looks very bad," quote unquote, from the White House, adding that he was feeling not good about the shooting. Trump went on to say he was a very, very good friend of mine and he was a tremendous person. Charlie Kirk was rushed to a nearby hospital for emergency surgery. His condition touch and go, a nurse told a longtime friend and former Trump Turning Point USA employee Lacey Williams, who relayed that information to the Post, later confirming reports that he had passed away. So Charlie Kirk assassinated while holding essentially what he used to do was debate situations, debating people a lot of times on college campuses, and yes, trying to change their minds on certain things, not backing down. If you saw any of his videos, never became hostile, never became abusive. Now, there were some people who didn't like it when he would point out using facts that what they were saying and telling him was not necessarily the absolute truth on something, whether it wasn't his point or whatever. So now we wait to see what law enforcement says about this. But the Charlie Kirk, leader of Turning Point USA, shot and killed in, I don't know if you can immediately call this a political assassination. It sure sounds like it. And sad now, he was a young father, obviously, with a family, and now we wait to see who decided that he or she had to do this. Horrible. Just horrible. As my friend Ben Proto just said, you affect change at the ballot box. You do not stifle dissent. And and I've talked about this over and over again. There is a danger here in America. And a lot of times it is, now again, I'm not trying to throw any particular school or people under the bus, but college campuses where lively debate should be a staple of the curriculum and should be encouraged, whether you like somebody or not. It's not the place for this to happen. Nowhere is the place for this to happen. Got a bunch of people hanging on here. Steve in Fairfield. Steve, good afternoon. How are you?
Not that great, Charlie. Not that great, Paul. Ironically, his organization was called Turning Point. And I think that's going to be a turning point, what happened. I called because my wife saw something on MSNBC. They had a guest on. And someone suggested that it was an enthusiastic supporter whose gun went off in celebration.
Yeah, I saw that. I can't. That is Steve. You know what? Somebody sent that to me, and I That can't be real. If I find out that's real, oh my God! I pray, Steve, that nobody is that stupid. They can't be. They can't be.
You know, I was a little boy when Kennedy was shot, and my parents were conservative Republicans. But I sat there and watched my mother. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
My mother crying, watching the funeral. And I saw this today, and I felt the same thing. This is a turning point. I'm sorry I'm taking up too much of your time.
No. Steve, thank you. We appreciate it, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, this is not who we are. It's not. I don't care how much you agree or disagree with something. And again, this is just the way I think. Let's wait and get information here on the shooter. Who is he or she? What was their intention? Were they working for someone? There's a lot to deal with here. Let's go to Bob in Trumbull for a few quick words. Bob, what's up with you? How are you?
Reverend, you are absolutely right. Wait until the information comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody made a shot at 200 yards and they hit him in the neck, they were going for a headshot and they were 2 to 4 inch clicks off on their elevation, depending on what rifle they were shooting. I mean, we just got to wait and see what type of person this was and how crazy. Was it a trans? Was it just a regular Democrat? Who knows?
203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Let's go to traffic and weather together right here on Connecticut Today.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound, way over an hour from Greenwich through Fairfield. The Parkway is at least slightly better. New Haven, 91 southbound, up to 20 minutes. Exit 6 down through the Merge and through Long Wharf into West Haven. And Route 8 north and southbound sides, heavy congestion into the Commodore Hole Bridge. Traffic report is powered by Optimum Business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with fast and secure fiber internet starting at $65 a month with 99.9% network reliability. Visit Optimum.com/business today. And that's Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Repair your car with confidence at Sono Collision, Fairfield County's premier destination for top-notch collision repairs. Our expert team uses state-of-the-art equipment to restore your vehicle to pre-loss perfection. We prioritize your family's safety when it comes to fixing your car. Trust the care and precision of Sono Collision. Because after a collision, you deserve quality repairs and peace of mind. Visit us today at sonocollision.com. That's sonocollision.com. Your car will thank you.
Do you have questions about real estate? Learn the secrets of real estate investing and get your questions answered during the Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. Listen Sunday mornings from 9 to 10 for expert information about real estate investing, downsizing, and improvements before selling. Pat will help turn your real estate dreams into reality. Tune in and call The Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. Sunday mornings from 9 to 10, right here on WICC 600 and 95.9.
Back to the news and talk, thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli.
All right, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Horrible news, tragic news. We'll get an update coming up at the top of the hour. Several reports say Charlie Kirk was shot and killed today. A long-range, what is likely a long gun shot, a shot to the neck. He was seen bleeding profusely. while he was having one of his Change My Mind events in front of what looked to be a few thousand people at a college in Utah. He was transported to a nearby medical center, and I guess what they're saying is he was in surgery, but expired. So several news outlets are reporting this, and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is reporting this as well. We're getting conflicting reports here as to whether or not there is a gunman in custody or a suspect. It appears there's not. There was a man detained but then let go. The shot apparently coming from an elevated position. People are saying about 200 or so yards away. An update coming up top of the hour from CBS, and your reaction straight ahead right here on WICC.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There is breaking news at this hour.
The conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot in the neck during an event at Utah Valley University earlier this afternoon.
CBS's Maurice Dubois. The suspect is still at large. Anna Schechter reports it's a complex scene.
In a situation like this, where you had so many people in an open air space, lots of chaos right as soon as that shot was fired, people running every which way, dropping items, very difficult to figure out where exactly that shot came from and where the shooter might have fled to.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe on Kirk's influence with Donald Trump.
We know this was somebody who met frequently with the president-elect last year after the election to go through potential cabinet selections. Someone who rallied skeptical Republicans to the side of, for example, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and encouraged or put pressure on them to support him earlier this year when there were questions about his qualifications. Someone with incredible influence at the White House, someone who's visited the White House hundreds of times and who today is very much in the thoughts of those that work in the West Wing.
NATO warplanes shot down Russian drones over Poland last night in a provocative act by Moscow. Eleanor Watson has more from the Pentagon.
The NATO Secretary General said that there will be a full accounting of Russia's intent, but already some European leaders are pointing to these violations with the fear that Russia was probing NATO air responses to test what would happen if Russia decides to put on a larger attack in the future.
Israel launched strikes in Yemen today. Yesterday's strikes on Hamas targets in Qatar are still raising concerns. Former U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Edward Jajarian.
Well, I asked a question. If Israel is such a close ally, why did it not coordinate fully with the United States when it's obviously not in the U.S. national security interest to have to put Qatar in this situation?
Matt Piper has new developments in the investigation into the deadly collapse of a Surfside, Florida condominium tower.
Investigators who have been working for the last 4 years now say the partial collapse likely began in the condominium's pool deck rather than the residential tower. Lead investigator Glenn Bell.
The pool deck's slab column connections had critically low margins of safety.
He says in the weeks leading up to the collapse, a sliding glass door fell off its frame with a horizontal crack in a planter wall and shifting of a gate, causing it to become inoperable.
98 people died when that tower collapsed. On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed. The Dow Jones Industrial's off 220 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
WICC 695.9. Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The unofficial results are in for some key primary races in Connecticut. In Norwalk, Barbara Smith wins the Democratic mayoral primary over Darlene Young. David Chess defeated Linda Manos to be Stratford Democratic candidate for mayor. In Oxford, First Selectman George Temple won the Republican primary over RTC-endorsed challenger Jeffrey Luff. Maria Pereira also prevailed in Bridgeport Democrats' council primary against endorsed candidates, despite her arrest earlier this year and accusations of absentee ballot-related crimes during the 2023 election cycle. She is due in court September 16th on charges that include misrepresenting eligibility requirements, forgery, and disorderly conduct. A judge has ordered all weapons seized from a former Stamford police captain found to be at risk of harming himself or others. Diedrich Hahn retired from the department in 2023. He had his weapons seized on August 27th, and a Stamford Superior Court judge upheld that decision yesterday. No details have been released about what led to the order, except in court filings that refer to threats and acts of violence. Hahn is currently not facing any criminal charges related to the matter. Avelo Airlines is ending its seasonal service between Tweed New Haven Regional Airport and Portland, Maine. The flights between the two cities began in May as a test route to see if there was demand for such a flight. However, after a summer-long trial run, Avelo has determined that they did not see enough consistent need, and a return date is not set for the route. Avelo continues to serve over 30 destinations from Tweed. And 5 Target stores in Connecticut are going to open at midnight on Friday, October 3rd, when Taylor Swift's new album goes on sale. There will be a limit of 4 albums per customer. Target is opening select stores nationwide for the special midnight release of The Life of a Showgirl. The Targets in Enfield, Newington, South Windsor, Southington, and Waterford will take part. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound accident reported near exit 23. Overall on 95 north, hour and 20 from Greenwich to Bridgeport Parkway. Overall is a little bit easier. Out of New Haven, 91 southbound side, we have a crash at exit 6. Has things backing up towards North Haven. And on 95, you're jamming through Long Wharf into West Haven. Wilbur Cross on the southbound side, slow ride from exit 52 going all the way down through the tunnel, and on 84 eastbound side, plenty of volume through Danbury and Newtown. Traffic report powered by Bridgelight Financial. If you're nearing or in retirement, have at least $250,000 in assets, Bridgelight Financial Advisors can help you. Call 203-795-7080, bridgelightadvisors.com. And that's Krause with WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
And you can reach out to us at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Talk or text horrible news today. I don't care whatever side of the political aisle you're on. If you don't think this is horrible, if you're taking any sort of delight in this, then, I don't know, you're subhuman. You're not of the human species. Charlie Kirk, according now to law enforcement officials joining with the White House, Charlie Kirk has died. If the name sounds familiar, and you're like, Charlie Kirk, he heads an organization, as you may have just heard over the afternoon here at WICC, called Turning Point USA. It was an extremely powerful and successful conservative organization that whose aim was to get voters when they are younger, or those who maybe have just registered to vote, maybe in coming out of high school, going into college, or at the college level holding these forums and push a conservative point of view. I don't know whether the Democratic Party has a similar organization. I honestly don't. Charlie Kirk's videos of him setting up a table. He started on college campuses doing this change my mind tables. You see these on social media, became very, very popular, going to campuses, just sitting there and would look like a glorified card table or bridge table, sitting there with a microphone and a video recorder and engaging college students in, granted, some very hot, as you would say, topics like abortion and guns and trans rights and immigration and migrants, quote unquote. And today was one of those events. This was a large event. Now, I guess this was the first stop on his his fall college tour, first semester of a fall college tour. This was at Utah Valley University. Charlie Kirk, 31 years old, was a populist conservative, a very influential, as you just heard at the top of the hour there from CBS, a very influential conservative within the White House, was a regular visitor to the White House because he would be able to channel the Trump MAGA message to young voters. He was shot and killed today. Authorities, says here, according to the AP, authorities are still looking for the suspect, says the mayor of the local town, a person who, and this is part of the confusion here, a person who was taken into custody at the school, Utah Valley University, was not the suspect. Not clear if authorities are still doing a search on campus. Kirk was speaking at a debate hosted by TP USA, Turning Point USA. The event at Utah Valley University had been met with divided opinions on campus. An online petition calling for the school to bar Kirk from appearing received nearly 1,000 signatures. The university issued a statement last week citing First Amendment rights and affirming, quote, its commitment to free speech, intellectual inquiry, and constructive dialogue, unquote. Yes, there is good for the school. There is no reason, if you disagree with someone, to shoot someone. There simply is not. And invariably, we're going to hear, and I predict it'll start late tonight, maybe overnight into tomorrow, but we're going to hear from the usual suspects on this. And as God is my witness, this is going to happen. Well, you know, he could get people angry. Okay? And sometimes anger is good. Well, you know, he would take unpopular opinions. Okay? Is that a reason to shoot someone? Well, it is if you're a nut. If the shooter's out of his or her mind, we don't know who that is yet. So again, I would give it, my guess is overnight tonight. You'll start to hear it tomorrow. You'll get the usual suspects saying, hey, well, you know, it's too bad for Charlie and his young family, but he knew. We are sure to get he knew the risks. Trust me. They'll talk about it like it was wartime. Trust me. Before we go to traffic and weather together, Rick in Norwalk joins us for a bit. Rick, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Paul. What a sad event to see this coming in today.
Horrible.
And, you know, I want to go back to a second point, but my first point is that I think we're just witnessing today probably the last of an open air kind of event.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, judges are protected. The president's obviously protected, we think. But someone like Charlie Kirk, and one of the announcers on one of the networks said, well, this is like so surprising that this happened. And I'm sitting back saying, maybe my mind's twisted. Tell me if I am.
Surprising.
But surprising. I'm thinking like, I always felt this about Charlie Kirk being in that tent.
Oh, yeah.
Whether this campus or other campuses. But the other thing, so I'd like to hear a comment on that in terms of what you think will go forward. But the other one where you're saying about Charlie Kirk sort of invoking people's ire, I expect that some of our politicians in this state will start to jump on the Second Amendment thing. So his body's not even cold yet. And mark my words, as you said, we'll hear it before too long. So I want your comments on that.
We will. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it, and I'll get to those comments momentarily right here on WICC.
For the latest news in Southern Connecticut, WICC is where you turn first on 600 AM and now 95.9 on FM. Hear your favorite live and local shows during the week. Melissa in the Morning, The Lisa Wexler Show, Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on both 600 and 95.9. Plus more live and local news updates on weekends to keep you informed. You found the voice of Connecticut. WICC 600 and 95.9.
Selling your home is a big decision. You deserve someone who truly listens and picks up the phone when you call. I'm Jonathan Carbeauty with Carbeauty Real Estate, and we make real estate simple. Whether you're ready to sell, just exploring your options, or even want a cash offer on your property, call me directly at 203-980-6886. No pressure, just real results.
Sell your home smoothly when you call Carbeauty. Go to CarBeautyRealEstate.com.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Many tire dealers will sell you Falcon tires, but Town Fair Tire doesn't just sell Falcon tires. They sell them at the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, they give you free services for the life of your Falcon tires. That's an unbeatable deal only Town Fair Tire can offer, because Town Fair Tire is New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal, and I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
We all have the ability to make a difference, to come together, to change a life, to make a wish come true. By supporting Make-A-Wish Connecticut, you are bringing hope and joy to children fighting critical illnesses. Children like me. Visit ct.wish.org to learn how you can become a wishmaker and be part of a journey that changes lives. Just imagine what you can do. Visit ct.wish.org today to learn more. That's ct.wish.org.
Who picks Post University? People who pick Post are people who believe in themselves and their potential. Post people want a school that helps them succeed on their terms, on their budget, and on their schedule. They want on-campus activities and online flexibility. Most of all, they want an education that could help prepare them for success in over 50 fields. Because when you're an Eagle, the sky's the limit. Are you a Post person? Find out now at post.edu.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from Cadillac of Greenwich Studios, CadillacofGreenwich.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound accident reported near exit 23. Overall on 95 north, hour and 20 from Greenwich to Bridgeport Parkway. Overall is a little bit easier. Out of New Haven, 91 southbound side, we have a crash at exit 6, has things backing up towards North Haven. And on 95, you're jamming through Long Wharf into West Haven. Wilbur Cross on the southbound side, slow ride from exit 52 going all the way down through the tunnel. And on 84 eastbound side, plenty of volume through Danbury and Newtown. Traffic report powered by Bridgelight Financial. If you're nearing or in retirement, have at least $250,000 in assets, Bridgelight Financial Advisors can help you. Call 203-795-7080, bridgelightadvisors.com. I'm Nash Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and tonight, cloudy with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
He's got a lot to say, and he's gonna say it. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, back to open phones to close out the show momentarily. Again, talk or text the same number, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Joining us right now, and I wanted to maintain his segment today if I could, because I wanted to get his thoughts on this. A gentleman who's, seen politics for years and years and years, like I have. Dan Haar, Hearst, Connecticut Media. Dan, good afternoon. Just a horrible story here, Dan. Involving a guy who people may not have agreed with him. A lot of people probably disagreeing with him. But one thing I love that Charlie Kirk did, Dan, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, which doesn't call for violence, is debate, is saying, here's what I think. What do you think? And this is why I think I'm right. Why do you think you're right? I think we need more of that, Dan Haar, not less.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that this is scary on a whole bunch of levels.
Mm-hmm.
His age of 31 strikes me because he's the age of my kid and her friends. Wow. That's a personal thing, but that's minor in comparison to the idea that discourse brings violence. We are involved in a lot of very animated debates that I would call fights in some regard, right? I'm online with MAGA people. I'm in the and I don't. We would all like to think that as much as we disagree with each other, that the discourse is safe.
Sure.
And we know that that's not always true. And we comfort ourselves in cases like this by thinking, rightly or wrongly, that this, in a sense, is political violence, perhaps. But in another sense, anyone doing these shootings or these stabbings are it's a different level of motivation than just simply I disagree with you.
Yeah, and there's organic reasons there, and it's tough, and between this and the situation in Charlotte, absolutely. So we'll see how this shakes out. Thank you for your thoughts on that, Dan. To a couple of things I know that you wanted to touch on. I know you tell me that you have a piece here you're putting together about a predicted recession. Now, a lot of people, Dan, I guess, hate to use that word, but what are your thoughts on that?
Mark Zandi is arguably the most quoted, and certainly in the top 5 or 10 most quoted economists, Moody's.com. And he recently put out a report saying that 17 states are already in recession, 17 states are teetering on recession, and the other 16 states are okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Connecticut, surprisingly, was in the list of states already in recession. And so that's led to, among people who follow the Connecticut economy, a lot of head scratching because house prices continue to rise. The population is flat to up, which for us is good. Of course, we've seen loss of population. And job creation has been not great, but has happened. And so it's really a function of the nation. The revisions that just happened a couple of days ago on jobs, that was the same thing that a year ago led to all that hand-wringing, the 800,000 jobs revised downward. Those revisions happened again this year at 900,000, and that leads a lot of people, including some prominent economists in Connecticut, to say there's a recession going on right now. And every recession is different. This one doesn't apparently mean a collapse in housing prices at the start, like the one did in 2007 and 8.
Yeah. Dan Haar, Hearst, Connecticut Media, joining us for his usual segment covering numerous things, including Dan Haar, a member of the Connecticut State House. trying to make a point. It was picked up by actually one of my contributors here, Megan Portfolio, and now this has become a little bit of a, well, I didn't mean this kind of thing, Dan. What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Congressman Jim Hines. I believe we're talking about Congressman Jim Hines and trying to push his alma mater, Harvard,
yes,
to not collapse in the face of pressure from Trump. And this, of course, is the debate that's going on in all areas. We see it with the wind farm. Should Lamont negotiate and say, yes, we'll accept a pipeline, which I asked Lamont about last week, or should we just sue and see where the chips fall? Congressman Hines weighing in on the hard line side.
Yeah, I saw that. Also in the State House here, State Rep Eleni Kavros-DeGraw. I guess, Dan, she was trying to make a point here about burdens and those of us who go to college and those who didn't, and now she's on defense a little bit here. Or is she?
Well, the foot and the mouth once again find each other. It's unfortunate. I haven't called her. If I write about it, I'll call her about it and ask her. Or the next time I see her, which I did just see her at Food Share, when they had the announcement of the grant. Mm-hmm. I think what she means is that it's awfully important if you want to get ahead in this country to consider a college education. It's not the only way to do it, but let's not discount it. As you know, there's a lot of people saying college education at $60,000 a year is not worth it. Mm-hmm. I think what she's saying is, what she physically said, so that people know, is that many of the people who are not college educated become a burden on society. Mm. And before I jump in to defend her, I would say that it certainly came off the wrong way.
I think I knew. I think she knew what she was trying to say. I kind of get that.
She knew what she was trying to say. I doubt that she meant what it would be the worst spirit in us would ascribe to her.
Finally.
So I give her a little bit of a break, but listen, she's an elected official, and she shouldn't be saying that stuff.
Yeah, she's not like me. I say dumb stuff 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and most of my audience goes, yeah, whatever, that's him. Hey, finally, Dan Haar, Aaron Stewart's having a tag sale. You going to drop by or what? What's going on here?
I have one question.
Yeah.
And I asked the reporter for my colleague who wrote that for CT Insider about that auction. So her office is cluttered with stuff from her time in office, and she wants to sell it off.
Okay.
Does the sale include the picture from 2012 of her and Obama, arm in arm?
I remember that, Dan Haar. I remember taking calls about it at another station, and I spent about 2 hours on a Saturday morning, Dan Haar, telling people to calm the freak down. So
I want to buy that photo.
There you go. Dan Haar, Hearst, Connecticut Media. Dan, thank you as always. We'll talk to you next week, my friend. Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it. Dan Haar there. Hearst, Connecticut Media. Traffic and weather together. WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 northbound accident reported near exit 23. Overall on 95 north, hour and 20 from Greenwich to Bridgeport Parkway. Overall is a little bit easier. Out of New Haven, 91 southbound side, we have a crash at exit 6. Has things backing up towards North Haven. And on 95, you're jamming through Long Wharf into West Haven. Wilbur Cross on the southbound side, slow ride from exit 52 going all the way down through the tunnel, and on 84 eastbound side, plenty of volume through Danbury and Newtown. Traffic report powered by Bridgelight Financial. If you're nearing or in retirement, have at least $250,000 in assets, Bridgelight Financial Advisors can help you. Call 203-795-7080, bridgelightadvisors.com. And that's Krause with WICC Traffic.
Cloudy this evening and overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Thursday, sunny and warmer with a high near 80. Friday, sunny with a high in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing. More people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor, is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Hand me those binoculars.
Wow, those are some big bucks.
Big bucks.
Biggest I've seen.
Just waiting to be scratched. Play the new Big Bucks, Mega Bucks, and Jumbo Bucks scratch tickets from the Connecticut Lottery for a chance at up to $100,000. Overall odds by game: Big Bucks 1 in 4.06, Mega Bucks 1 in 3.89, Jumbo Bucks 1 in 3.65. Second chance odds depend on entries received. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling helpline. Call 888-789-7777.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything, but while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
I'm Barbara from Trumbull, and I've used Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning since 2012 when he diagnosed the source of a carbon monoxide problem when no one else could. I use him for maintenance and emergency situations for that reason. He has always been able to fix any problem in my home. There's no one better than Steve Basso.
Looking for a reliable plumbing or HVAC company? Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and AC has proven customer satisfaction since 1974. Go to BassoPHAC.com. That's BassoPHAC.com.
Want to know how business gets made in Connecticut? Check out the Made podcast at voiceofct.com. It's the official companion to the Made Leadership Series. Want to stay ahead of the curve and learn from top minds? Check out Connecticut-made.com and get made.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News special report. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot during an appearance at a college in Utah. CBS's Robert Costa.
It's hard to quantify and characterize the amount of anger, frustration, pain that is being felt in so many corners of American politics right now, especially those who knew Charlie Kirk.
Authorities do not have a suspect in custody, and campus police at Utah Valley University were going building to building to evacuate people. CBS's Ed O'Keefe on Kirk's influence.
Founded this group, Turning Point USA, back in 2012, inspired by the Tea Party movement. And he very quickly became a really influential conservative leader, especially among younger conservatives, galvanizing them to vote for various Republican candidates, and became very close with the Trump family.
President Trump has ordered flags lowered to half staff. CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut local news update.
The unofficial results are in for some key primary races in Connecticut. Controversial Bridgeport City Councilor Maria Pereira has survived a primary challenge. Pereira and Kayla Medina collected the most votes in the four-way 138th district contest, which was the only primary for a council seat this year in Bridgeport. The top two candidates advanced to the November election. Pereira was arrested earlier this year and accused of absentee ballot-related crimes during the 2023 election cycle. She's due in court September 16th on charges that include misrepresenting eligibility requirements, forgery, and disorderly conduct. In Norwalk, Barbara Smith wins the Democratic mayoral primary over Darlene Young. David Chess defeated Linda Manos to be Stratford Democratic candidate.